Jesus Christ, you people suck.
Wow.
Wolverine on it.
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady.
But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
Alright, it's time for another week of N4G Radio. This is episode 640 for February 22nd, 2021. And I just want to say that during this recording, the day we're recording this, it is officially 35th birthday of Zelda. 35 years ago, that first game came out.
Happy birthday, Zelda.
Yeah. You've been able to drink and rent a car for a while. Anyway, on the show this week, we got a jam-packed house. We have the Wombat.
Yo, yo.
We got Drew.
Yes.
We have Anthony.
This is going downhill.
Well, that hurts. That hurts the feelings of our final guest. Welcome back, Mr. John W.
Thanks, Anthony, yeah.
You
were absolutely right. It has gone downhill considerably.
We had to get the Americans in first because America's number one.
You know, the Commonwealth has to wait at the back of the line.
I haven't spoken to you guys since it all kicked off, and congratulations on getting rid of the idiot in charge. Well done.
Listen, we all played our little part.
Yeah.
Yes, you did, and you should all be very proud.
It was the day I was proud to be an American.
Where at least you knew you were free.
Exactly. Thank you. I needed my truck commercial song. Let's do that. But anyway,
That's like a rock.
There are very few songs that I hate more than that song.
Yeah.
That is the worst, cheesiest ass song that has ever been written.
Yeah. I can't. There are no lies detected in that statement.
Lee Greenwood has been coasting for 30 years on that one terrible song.
You gotta give him credit though. If I could coast for 30 years on one song,
it's true, I guess.
And don't give him shit, whoever he is, because Mariah Carey has been coasting on one song for quite a few years as well.
Oh, come on. Mariah Carey had a whole host of hits.
Yeah, that's not totally true. It's just that's the one you hear the most.
Now, on the Christmas side, I
money.
agree with you.
That too.
Yes.
That's the one that makes the most money.
But
that is true.
It also pierces through every other Christmas song. Everything else is just background noise, and then she hits the high note, and you're instantly taken out of whatever little space you floated into. You go, oh fuck, it's Christmas time.
Yeah, it ain't Christmas until the fat lady Mariah Carey sings.
oh snap!
If you
John
want,
hates Mariah Carey.
well, it sounds like
actually,
it.
Clearly,
I actually have I have no feelings towards Mariah Carey one way or the other.
She's made some pretty decent songs.
All I now think of her is the like the whistling type dog noise she makes in most of her songs, the ones that only dogs can hear. But,
oh shit! Like that whistle that only Al Gore can hear. It's not the wind. All right, let's talk video game. There's a lot of video game news that happened this week, but we'll get into that later. Let's get into video games themselves. I'll start off with Mr. Drew.
Okay. There's 2 video games that I've played this week.
Excellent.
Overwatch is one of them.
Yeah, me too.
I see that hasn't changed then.
No. I have definitely dropped off Overwatch significantly. I still when I'm sitting down, I got 20 minutes to play something. Why not Overwatch? You can get 2 games in and feel satisfied.
So, what do you two think of? Because it's not coming. The new one's not coming out this year, is it? What do you guys think of that?
So they have
I'm sure you just
basically.
talked about it.
I feel like they've shot themselves in the foot.
I mean, maybe at this point, it's not going to stop me from playing it, Drew, and I think that's the case for most of the people that have played it regularly for a long time.
Sure.
I think they'll continue playing it. I don't think they will sell a lot of that game this year.
No.
It's just, I'll still play it till the new one comes out. It was kind of why I didn't even watch BlizzCon, because I knew I wasn't going to be playing this for like almost 12 months.
Yeah.
So
Have they given an actual idea of like early or mid or late next year, or is it just next year?
The only news we have is that came out of that financials call that Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 would not release in 2021. That's all we know.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll actually be next year?
Overwatch 2 will definitely be 2022.
Yeah, I think that one will. Diablo, maybe not.
I can see Diablo making holiday next year.
Possibly, but I would also not be shocked if they pushed it to 2023.
I wouldn't either, but we know Blizzard and how they do their stuff. But
I think you can't release Overwatch any later than spring of 2022.
No, in fact, I would go as far as probably say winter of 2022.
No.
But I mean, I don't know. The problem is that they've basically came out and said, "Yeah, we're focusing only on Overwatch 2." So anybody who's playing Overwatch now, you're not going to really get anything else.
We'll get balance patches and some skins, and that's about it.
I mean,
how long's that game been out now?
This will be
2016.
This will be year 5.
So definitely had a long life.
Oh, longest I've ever played a game in my life.
Yeah, me too. It is the longest playing game I've ever played. This is the most hours I've put into a video game.
Yeah, I think before this it was when me and Wombat and the crew played Halo 2. We played that for like over a year, I think.
Wow, yeah, for impressive.
Sure. Yeah, so this one has trumped it by about 4 years.
Yeah.
Don't say that word.
I don't know because I put a lot of time in the PC version, but I have well over 1,000 hours in Overwatch.
Yeah, I'm over 2.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yes, it is a lot.
But again, value for money. What can you say? Cents per hour.
It's not even close. I have more hours in one character out of the 30 plus than I do most video games that I've ever played.
Yes, it's true. But we'll talk about more about that in the news. But the other game that I've been playing is the game we're doing for Phoenix Down, which is Yakuza 0.
Yeah, that game is so good.
What a fantastic game that is. So, first off, the gameplay in that game is not good.
It's better than the other Yakuza games, though.
Yes, I would give it that, but it is still boring.
Yeah, the beating.
You're hitting the exact same buttons. You're doing the exact same moves every single time.
It's their answer to turn-based fighting.
Yeah,
I think that's the reason why Ken likes 8 so much.
Yeah,
7.
And I
7. Sorry, you know what, man? At this point, just throw numbers. I don't.
They don't even number
47.5.
They don't even number Like a Dragon. It's just called Like a Dragon because they didn't want it to be part of the main Yakuza series because it's a different character. So
and they didn't want to do Square Enix.
I can't even tell you how many games there are that we just didn't get because there's the past ones and then there's Judgment. So my numbers are correct. Fuck everybody.
There is a Yakuza game that is set in feudal Japan.
That's the ones I was talking about.
There's a zombie one as well, isn't there?
That's
we don't talk about that one.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Game.
Yakuza Online, Judgment, Ryogai Toko Ishin. I'm not even trying to pronounce that. Then there's like a portable one, and then there's
a lot of Yakuza.
And then there's the weird spin-off that's technically a Fist of the North Star, but if you play it, you're like, this is just Yakuza skinned, like Fist of the North Star.
It definitely is. That game's actually really good, too.
Yep. That one at least ends with blood just like everywhere, just everywhere. Guys' heads exploding.
No.
Good times.
I'm looking forward to playing Judgment.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, next month?
April. Yeah, it's April.
Is it April?
I mean,
they're
that's almost
releasing that?
technically
Far off.
next month. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that'll be Game Pass?
No, I
'Cause-
don't think that'll be Game Pass, considering that it's
No.
just now launching. on
April
Xbox.
23rd.
I bet it's not Game Pass at the beginning. I bet it goes to Game Pass eventually.
In which case, I'll wait for it to be on Game Pass.
You cheap bastard.
Oh, we
Every
talked about
fucking
this before the
time.
show. No, you.
I'll
can't
wait for
say
it to go to PS Plus. I'll wait for it to go to Game Pass. Just admit you're a cheap fuck, John.
that. I'm not a cheap fuck.
Yeah, you are. All right. What else? Yakuza 0.
Yeah, I mean, that story is fantastic.
Yeah. Have you got to run your own real estate business yet?
Yes, I've done that, and I'm running my own cabaret club.
Did you hire the chicken?
No, I haven't hired anything yet. I did one. That is stuff that is completely optional,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to do it. I don't care about doing it. I want to play this story because the story is absolutely captivating.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like it rivals like freaking like, you know, The Godfather and stuff. Like just the complexity of these characters, the drama that's there. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Those stories in those games, I'm amazed. I'm not amazed that they pump the games out because the games are very much a lot of the same over and over again.
Yeah.
But the fact that they can write those stories as fast
Yeah.
as they do is amazing.
It's really, really good. I would say I'm about halfway through the game at this point. But I'm in chapter 10.
I think you're a little
And-
more than halfway. Isn't it 16? Wasn't
There's
zero-
either 16 or 17 chapters. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
0, I think, was 16.
Yeah. So in every single chapter, there's stuff going down. Like just this, like, and it's not even over the top stuff. It's just like revelations and things of that nature. Like it's freaking car bombs going off, and I'm like, oh god, that guy died, and then who is this guy? Everything ends on a cliffhanger.
It's good shit.
Yeah, that's a fantastic game. Like I've loved the Yakuza series. I've played 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's it. I never played 5 or 6. But I was a big proprietor of those games back in the PS2 day.
6
Like that was
6 has like a baby taking care of simulator.
oh god.
It's actually really
Oh,
good.
yeah, it
It's-
does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really good too. Like it's god damn, those games are good.
Yeah. But yeah, playing a whole lot of that. And that, I mean, to be honest with you, that's pretty much it. It's not much. I could talk about Magic the Gathering. I've been playing a good amount of that, both in real life and virtually on Magic Arena. That is something that my wife and I have gotten into.
You know, it's pandemic. I talked to shout out on the show. They'll be mad because I didn't get him on the show, but I talked to Jason. Him and his wife have been doing D&D.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's been, to be honest with you, I don't have much time to play games anymore.
It's not that I don't have the time because I kind of try to make myself time, but I haven't got like invested in a game in a while. Like I blasted through Bowser's Fury, but like I've been trying to get back into something else. And I feel like I'm in that gaming lull. I don't know.
The best thing to do is go through one of the games, like how my wife got me to do. Like she basically just said, "What game have you not finished? It's on your hard drive right now." And I said, "Well, here's all of them." She's like, "Why don't you do Far Cry 5?" And I played through Far Cry 5 and beat it.
I got to find a game that I actually haven't finished that I could do that with. And I don't.
Yeah.
I finish a lot of the stuff like I was playing through Control again, and I was like, I've already finished this, but God, this game is good.
See, I played probably about 3 hours of Control, and I liked it, but it didn't grab me as much as I wanted it to. I want to go back to it, but it's not one of those of like, oh man, I can't wait to get back to this game. Same with Battle Chasers. That was my next game after Far Cry 5. Because when I started Yakuza, I was like, I have to devote pretty much all my game time to this because it's like, a chapter will take you 3 hours to get through.
Yeah.
It's so long. But I mean, I'm playing through games right now, just going through Phoenix Down games. So that was kind of the plan of those games. But yeah, I started up the Outer Worlds.
Oh yeah, I've tried to play that game several times. I get about 3 to 4 hours into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me with that game too.
I don't know. I like the game, but I
did too.
I didn't get into it for some reason.
Yeah, same.
I really want to get into it because I love Obsidian.
What's funny is it's not even that long, right? It's only like 15 hours.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's not as long as like a Fallout game or something like that.
Yeah, and it's sad. I can't even get like a quarter of the way through it.
Yeah, I've tried twice. I even changed up my build. I was like, let me go with melee build this time, and I started it. And I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this, and then this didn't keep going. I just don't feel like booting it up.
I can't put my finger on why I don't want to play that game more. I have no idea what it is, because when I play it, I'm like, this is enjoyable, and then when I turn it off and I look at it on my hard drive, I'm like, I don't want to play that.
I want to say it's pacing, and it's not that it's that it's a lot of story, but then you have combat sections, and they don't, like in hindsight, because when I played it the first time, I was like, oh, this is very good. And it is. The writing, I think, is far superior to what most of Fallout is. However, I think Fallout understands also that, like, oh yeah, we need to have a moment where it's just a lot of gameplay to make up for all the time talking. And I never felt like I was fully engaged with the gameplay portion of that. Like, when I'm talking to people and I'm doing small quests, it works out, but then it's like when I'm doing bigger quests, it still just feels like smaller stuff. I don't go into a big dungeon and shoot a bunch of things, or building or whatever. I'm like, I shoot like one or two, and then I'm kind of done with the area. And I think that's based on the size of the worlds that you go to.
Yeah, it feels small.
But you go to that one space station, and like you don't shoot a thing. And I know that's like important for the storytelling, but like also, but on the gameplay side of things, like it doesn't feel right, because the next planet you land on, there's a bunch of people to talk to again, so it doesn't. I don't know. That's what kind of turned me off eventually. Was like, do I want to talk to a bunch of people? Like, I kind of got what I needed out of like. I really like the side quest. Pavarti, I believe her name was.
Oh yeah, Parvati.
Yeah.
She's
like
great.
she was great. I'm like, I just want to kind of follow her. I don't give a shit about anybody else.
Oh no, the drunk lady in the bar kind of cracked me up.
I like the robot that you turn on in your ship.
Oh
who
yeah,
has like really robot personality. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the new DLC that's coming out will be big.
It's already out.
It's already out.
Well,
yeah, and nobody. It was like a fart in the wind. Nobody paid attention.
Yeah,
I've only seen the ads. I didn't know it was coming until I saw an ad, and then
I
haven't seen the ads as of late because they're ads, and that's how they come and go.
DLC crops up, so like the DLC for that, and then what was that other game that we played with the goofy kind of roguelike, the planet you go to? What is the name of that fucking game?
Journey to Savage Planet?
Yeah, the DLC for that came out. The DLC was called Hot Garbage, and I didn't even remember that it came out.
I feel like Obsidian is really good at choices, dialogue options, and by telling a branching story. Their combat isn't the greatest, I don't think.
It's very serviceable, but that's about it.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
It's no worse than Fallout's.
No, it isn't.
No.
but-
I don't know.
No.
Fallout 4, listen, as someone that's shit on Bethesda quite a bit in the past, Fallout 4's combat was way better than... I didn't like the VAT system as much in that because it didn't stop time and didn't feel as satisfying, but the general combat in Fallout 4 felt great.
Yeah. I feel like if you want a company that does both great, Larian Studios are top notch at telling a story, a branching story, and making combat feel great and also paced well. Now, granted, it's a different style of game. It's, your classic, like Dungeons and Dragons, Baldur's Gate kind of thing. But like Divinity, Original Sin, those two games are some of the best RPGs you'll ever play.
They're really good. I don't know. I don't know that I can agree with you necessarily on the paced well portion of that.
Ah, man, you haven't played Original Sin 2, though.
I have. I've played about 10 hours of it.
I don't know, man. I think the pacing's fantastic in that game.
I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit drug out.
You do get into a lot of fights in that game.
Yeah.
But I feel like the fights go by a lot faster in that game than they did in the original game.
I will agree with that.
Yeah, some of they really like their combat in that game. But I feel like pound for pound, Larian knows what they're doing when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I played a little bit of Baldur's Gate 3, and it's right up there with Original Sin 2. It feels a lot like that.
Yeah, what happens to Baldur's Gate 3 now? Like, because that was a Stadia exclusive, right?
That game is not out.
Well, I know it's not out.
It's in early access.
It's
Yeah.
just funny that, like, Stadia got all the marketing for it, that Stadia's kind of like, well... Anyway.
That's what you get when you partner with Stadia.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Anything else, Drew, before we move on?
Not really. It's been a lot of me trying to figure out what I want to play, and I just end up playing Overwatch and Yakuza.
All right. I will move on to John.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
This won't take too long, I guess. So I'll tell you what I played recently because it went onto a Game Pass. Donut County.
That game's cool.
That game is if you want something that's gonna just see you through for maybe 2 or 3 hours, with an interesting story and some lovable characters. That game does that all. It's a very light puzzle type game where you are sitting through the story of this town where raccoons have come in. They've set up a donut shop, but the donuts are holes in the ground that is swallowing the residents. It's very weird, but it's also a lot of fun. Kind of each main resident of the area has their own little level, and the idea is you start off like Katamari. You start off small, and the more you eat, the bigger you get. The bigger you get, the more bigger stuff you can eat, and that sort of stuff.
Just like real life.
Just like real life, yes. It's again, it's not a big commitment. It's only a couple of hours, but it's a lot of fun, and it makes a change from shooting and looting.
It would be a great game for you to perhaps experience on a mind-altering substance.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know about those.
I don't know about that. That's more of a Katamari thing.
I don't know, man. Donut County is very chill. I guess it would depend on the.
Very chill.
It would depend on the substance.
When you said mind-altering substance, I thought you were going for something a little bit harder.
Nah, dog. You just get that.
Just some
gotcha.
LSD. Put on Katamari. Trip the fuck out of what's going on.
Yeah, I don't want to feel like I'm watching Mandy again. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I played that, and again, you can complete that in credits within a few hours. So it's quite a nice little jaunt, and on Game Pass, it's free. It's great.
No brainer. Just hit download.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So it's funny you mentioned that because my local game store called me and was asking if I was interested because he knows that I get some of the bigger, weirder more eclectic games out there. And the Annapurna Collective put out the big box set. And it's like, it would be really great if, I didn't own some of the games, but it's like, you look at them and you're like, these games are so cheap. They want $200-something for 7 games. But then the games... Oh, let me see. I just got to pull it up because I can't remember all of them.
Physical versions of those games are always going to be like, I still see, I get emails from Limited Run and they're trying to sell Ground Zero Texas for $70. I'm like, you out of your goddamn mind.
So sorry, it's 8 games. It's Donut County, the Gorogoa, Kentucky Route Zero, Outer Wilds, What Remains of Edith Finch, Wadham Telling Lies, and Sayonara Wild Hearts. And like, that's cool and all, but I think I bought Edith Finch for $10 digitally. Outer Wilds was on Game Pass forever, still might be. Kentucky Route Zero, I think, is on Game Pass.
No, it's
no.
Not. Outer Wilds was given away for free if you watched a thing, and then it was in Games with Gold.
Oh yes, I think if you watched E3 presentation from about 2 years ago,
you got a free copy of that game.
Yeah, if you watched it on Mixer. Remember Mixer?
Remember Mixer? Yeah.
Donut County, though, like, it's all the games, like, and I spent almost 60 Canadian dollars, if not more, to get a physical copy of Wadham. So it's like half, or it's like part of the price I would have paid for this collection. But it's just like, these are really, like, these games go for like $10 a piece at full price sometimes, 20 max. Like, together, I don't know. It was just like a really weird, like, this is a really interesting collection of eclectic stuff, but like, wow, the price on them.
That's
and then the more expensive version is just the discs in this big like portfolio thing that has all the art. Like, I'm like, the cheaper collection is way nicer looking, where each one of them has its own case. But
do you know
if
why
you're looking for a physical copy of Donut County or Country or whatever it's fucking called, what?
You know why they charge that much?
Because I can.
Because you'll pay it, just like Skyward Sword HD is $60, baby.
I ain't paying $60 for that.
Ken always gives me shit for jumping ahead into the news. Here he is.
I get the new one. Ahead. I get one a year. I'm allowed one a year.
All right, I'm sorry to cut you off, John. I want to bring it up just in case there is somebody out there. It's not like these games are bad. I think it's the only way to get Edith Finch physically, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, if this was just like even $50 cheaper, I could maybe understand the price.
I wouldn't. As much as I like some of those games, and physical copies are nice, but that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Yep.
I've been playing Binding of Isaac as usual. I'm now probably up to nowhere near Overwatch levels, but I think I'm up to about 800 hours, 800 hours, something like that anyway, across all the platforms. It's pretty good. The new DLC for it is coming out shortly, which is Repentance, and that's on PC to start off with. So
that's the last one, isn't it?
Yes, that is the last one. I will... it'll be interesting because it's a DLC that was made in collaboration with some community modders. Edward McMillan got together with some of the more popular and modders and came up with this DLC expansion, which is pretty cool. I'm happy to give him more money. So that game is, I own it on pretty much every platform now, and I'm...
Speaking of games I paid way too much for physically.
Yeah, you call me cheapskate, but I own Binding of Isaac on every platform.
Yeah, but that game's like $5, isn't it?
It's not.
It's like 20. It's like 20.
With
it's
the expansions.
Not that, I paid $50, I believe, for my physical copy on PS4.
Oh my god! I think I got that game from somewhere for free, and I played it for 20 minutes. I'm like, holy shit, this is awful.
No, just don't you dare blaspheme.
I hated that game. I hated it.
I know you did, but I love it. And the other thing I've been playing recently, I've been getting back into is The Division, because they've had that update, and I wanted to see what that looked like on the Series X, and it does look silky smooth. But I also wanted to give that game another shake of the stick. When it came out, it lost me. Considering the amount of hours I spent with the original. Much like Red Dead 2, I was very disappointed with Division 2. I wanted to give it another shake. And so I thought, well, this will be a good opportunity. I'll check out the enhancements. I'll see, it's had over a year now to bake in the oven, little patches and stuff to fix things. And I also picked up the Warlords of New York expansion for like £5 because it was on the sale. So I thought, well, I'll give that a shot, and I'm enjoying it. I'm going to try and stick with that, much like you guys were saying about the Outer Worlds, which is, again, a problem I had with the Outer Worlds. I started that game about 5 times, and I get to about the same point and I fall off of it. I don't want to do that with Division. I want to see if I can stick with it, because I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I need a kind of game that you can... This is a bit second nature, it's one of those, you don't have to think too much about it. You just point and shoot. You go, you follow the line in the sky and you point and shoot. And that's kind of what I want from a game at the moment. So I'm enjoying that more than I did when I first played it.
Well, I'll tell you what, that 60 FPS really changes that game's dynamic. It feels really good at 60.
It does. I mean, I thought it looked. One thing I think about the Division is that Division always looked great. I always thought that the work that they did on that engine and the developers that worked on it done a fantastic job of making that a lived-in city and an overrun city. One that it felt and looked amazing. But yes, the 60 frames per second make a big difference to the actual gameplay, especially when the enemies are bullet sponges, and as you progress through the game, as enemies level up with you, or as you go into areas where they're more higher powered, getting a headshot is very important, and having that extra 30 frames per second makes a big difference. And makes it more enjoyable. So that's pretty good. Another game that I'm going to get shot for this, but I have to. Another game that I bought, but I have only barely played, is Honey Pop 2.
Oh, god damn it, John. We've had conversations on this show for the past few weeks about horny video games.
Yeah, let me... I would suggest scrolling up in the chat here so you can take a look at the Panty Party Collector's Edition. It might be up your alley.
No, well, the thing... I know this sounds really...
Lord almighty. No, you don't.
No.
You know, but now we're going to mock you for it.
I know. The Birthday Suit Edition of Galgun. Yeah, that safety goggles. Oh my god, yeah, that's creepy. I actually like it because it's a good puzzle game.
Yeah, we heard you only play it for the articles. We know, John.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's like reading porn for the articles. But yeah, that came out, and I haven't played a huge amount of it, to be fair, but I have to, I have to come clean about these things.
No, you could have left that. You could have left that.
You should probably wash your hands after you're done playing it, though, for sure.
Oh, I do. Don't worry. Good thing is it's mouse control, so you can play one-handed.
No,
I'm done.
Please, did you finish?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, come on, John. I didn't even know what this game was.
Oh, did you Google it?
I knew it was naughty, but I didn't know what type of game it was. It's like it's a gem game. Like, John, you could have gotten this without the...
Yeah,
the
I know.
porn.
It's literally a match 3
Oh, my
game.
fucking God.
Oh, okay.
And that's about it.
All right. Anthony, wash your hands and then tell me what you're playing.
Fucking good Lord.
That's the last time. I'm not going to be allowed back on online.
No, you're allowed back on. We're just going to laugh at you every time and never forget.
No, makes no difference. That makes no difference, then, does it?
Yeah. So more Turok 2. I know it's really weird, but yeah. I'm in the level with the layer of the blind ones, which is a ass to navigate.
I'm pretty sure the level design document of every Turok game was, let's make this confusing as fuck to navigate.
Well, the second one at least. The first one's pretty straightforward, and it's just the secrets that are
don't you
harder to
remember?
find.
Don't you remember walking through the valley of the cliffs where like portals would just pop up, and you're like, which one do I go through, and where do I go?
Yeah, well, that's that. And they just ran. Yeah, okay, fair.
Yeah.
And just the actual level design in the game is very straightforward. You're always kind of moving towards the exit. In the second game, finding some of the shit is near impossible. The next game is Animal Crossing. Still been doing that. I finished Tohu. Yeah, it's a okay point and click. The style is kind of where they put, I think, more of the work into. All the bugs that are flying around are also everyday objects. So some of them are light bulbs. Some of them are hammers and wrenches. It's kind of neat aesthetic, but it reminds me a lot of oh my god, Amanita design, which is Samarost, Chuchel.
I think you're making up words
Machinarium.
right now. Are you that, or you're having a stroke?
No. I honestly, they're from some European country, so it could that I might be speaking another language and not even know it.
Fancy.
But I mean, Amanita is the mushroom that makes you feel big when you eat it. But yeah, it's got that sort of aesthetic going on. But I would say that it's not as compelling as those because they want to talk. Like the characters have dialogue between the two. They don't sort of pantomime everything. Some stuff is, and then other times they'll just pop text up on the screen. And then there's a narrator who has clearly recorded himself, but he's recorded himself too loud so I can hear the audio peak and then cut off because it's too loud in the mix. And then the last game is a game I picked up because I like Picross and nonograms and stuff. It was a 2-pack on Switch. I haven't played the second part of it, but the first it's Pixel, Piczle Cross Adventure, and it's sort of like an RPG that you walk around and you have to like find the puzzles to do, and there's a level that you have as you do more puzzles, you get more experience, and then you can do harder puzzles. But what's interesting is every time you level up, it gives you fake stats that have increased. All that it matters is that you're at a certain level to do some of the puzzles. But it's neat. There's a full world to explore, and every puzzle is actually just like a hole in the ground because all this stuff's been zapped out of existence and you're rebuilding it. I've been really enjoying that. I'm not too far in it because I'm doing every puzzle on my way to the next story beat. But it's neat. The writing's pretty good in it, and I picked it up for like I think $15 in the set. The other game I've heard mixed things about, which is the RPG one that you like move around on a map, sort of like piece by piece, like almost like a game board. It's available on Steam. Picross or something like that. Picross Adventure or something like that. Pitcross. I don't remember exactly what the other one's called. And that's it for me.
All right. Well, I'll move on to the Wombat.
All right. So, I haven't played anything
Okay.
other than Assassin's Creed, which I continue to make my way through, and hopefully will be able to get through in the next week or so. But I'm
Because they weren't you playing that when I was last on?
you probably, yeah. I've been playing it since like I don't know, November. So yeah, I'm 30, I don't know, 35, 36 hours in at this point.
Wow.
So, and I feel like I've barely scraped the surface. So
I mean, yeah, the game's like 90 hours long or something like that.
yeah, so it's good though. I enjoy it, and I've done some. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm trying to like dance around here. I've done the first part of a very cool section in the game, so I think that's pretty neat. And again, I'm trying to dance around spoilers. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still enjoying it. Other than that, I really honestly haven't played anything. I'm planning on, I think, trying out Control after I finish Assassin's Creed. So we'll see how that goes.
Control is a very good video game.
Yeah, I'm anxious to try it.
Which, by the way, excuse me, I have to ask you, Drew. Did you download Control this week?
No. Why?
It's one of the weekly Game Pass quests to boot it up.
I booted that up on my phone.
Oh, so
where I
that
don't
one's
have to-
mobile thing?
Yep.
Gotcha. Well,
And
I had to download it even though I had the Ultimate Edition on my hard drive.
yeah, I remember it was like whenever we had to do the Madden thing.
Yeah.
And you booted up Madden 21, and I booted up Madden 20.
I had to re-download Madden 20.
You're like, it says you're not online. What are you talking about?
It's like, I'm in the game. What's fun? My favorite part of that was that I could navigate you through the menus even though you were on a different version of the game.
That's how much do those games deviate?
Yeah. Oh, shit. That's funny. Yeah, I downloaded the original Control because the Ultimate Edition doesn't count. If you boot that up, that doesn't count
Yep.
for the thing. So I had
How
to
ridiculous!
Yeah, I had to download the
Game Pass.
Yeah, I know. It's two different versions of the game. I'm getting new achievements. So
Oh, weird.
yeah, like I'm getting new achievements in the Ultimate Edition. Like it doesn't carry
It's
anything.
almost like they royally fucked up.
Yeah, they definitely royally fucked up.
They were out of control with their decisions.
Oh,
Wah, wah, wah.
God damn it. Again, I'm going to spoil some of the news, but I checked out 4 of the 5 Xbox games that got the FPS boost. That's a cool thing.
So do they? Are they? Do you need to update the game, or do you
No.
have to update your operating system?
No. It just fucking works.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I booted up Watch Dogs 2, which was the first one that I wanted to see because that's an open world game. And it's so weird because if you remember, that game never got an X enhancement.
No.
So, like, when you play it, like, it's jaggy as fuck because it's, like, running in, like, 900p or something. But it's 60 frames a second and it never drops.
It is a shame that a lot of these, if they didn't get the X enhancement, a lot of these are running at 900p, and
Yeah.
I wish there was a way to fix that. I mean, I know it's obviously not as easy as it is to do the boosted frame rate, but I'd like to think they can find a way somehow, because it is. I mean, if you've got an Xbox Series X, chances are you've probably got a 4K TV, and when you start looking at 900p content on a upscaled on a 4K TV, it doesn't look fantastic.
I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually made it like an algorithm like they did for Auto HDR to do that.
Hopefully so.
But I tried out 4 of the 5 games. The only game I didn't try was UFC because I don't care about UFC. So I tried Watch Dogs, runs buttery smooth. Far Cry 4, wow, Far Cry is a different fucking video game in 60 FPS. Holy cow.
Why 4 and not 5?
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Why Watch Dogs 2 and not 3?
Because
Yeah.
that's already...
Because Legion sucked.
Legion's not 60 FPS.
Oh,
Legion's
shit.
bad.
So,
Legion's not a very good game in comparison to Watch Dogs 2, so that's why
Yeah.
Watch Dogs 2.
I mean, the whole list of games they chose is weird.
It's got to be a list of games that they were working flawlessly.
Yeah. Sniper Elite 4, totally different game in 60
Oh,
FPS.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some X-ray kills in beautiful 60 frames a second.
Also, I feel like the biggest jump for me was Super Lucky's Tale, and I say this because I played the original on Xbox One, and it ran at 30. Then new Super Lucky's Tale on Xbox One X ran at 60. And now on Series X, that fucking game runs at 120 frames a second. Holy shit. That thing is buttery smooth. But again, you gotta have 120 frames panel.
I think that's a cool thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
I think that's and to be able to do that without affecting any of the code, without going in.
You even gotta download a patch.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That is pretty. I mean, fair play to him.
Yeah. But no, I was very impressed with it. I will be excited every week when they add new games because some games it changes them completely. Like when the Division 2 patch dropped, like that made it feel like an entirely new game.
Are they committed to every week though?
Well, I don't know what their cadence will be. If it's the same as backward compatible games, it was twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I guess it'll all depend on how they get on with it, and
yeah.
But since they've got it working for certain games, I'm sure that it's only a matter of time before they get it working for most.
I feel comfortable in saying they will release more FPS boost games than Nintendo releases classic games for the SNES Online.
Well, to be fair, I take more shits than they release games.
That's true. That's true. As I mentioned earlier, I finished Bowser's Fury. Wrote my review up for that collection this week. Bowser's Fury was wonderful. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think the music in it's incredible. I like the design. If I had a big complaint, and I brought this up in my review, it is the fact that Bowser can just like randomly show up whenever. And like there were times later in the game where I'm doing really, really difficult like platform puzzles, and he shows up and it basically just ruins that because there's no way you can continue on that while he's also, throwing things at you and shooting fucking lava at you, and that can be frustrating. So, but other than that, I think it's brilliant. I think it's one of the coolest like directions Mario has gone, and it's definitely got that Nintendo level of polish.
I've got a feeling that's going to sell incredibly well.
Oh yeah. And then on top of the fact that you also get what some consider the best 3D Mario game. Like I really love 3D World.
Is Bowser's Fury like a full game?
Yeah, it's
like,
not.
I mean,
it's like 6 to 8 hours if you collect all 100 cat shines.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah. It's more like a proof of concept is what I would like to call it. Like it's an interesting take on the Mario that you haven't seen yet. Like a full, wide open world that you can go anywhere you want and do any of the puzzles at any order that you want. And it's got that Nintendo beauty. Like the art design in it is just off the charts. Nintendo kills it every time. I'm go run through the indie games real quick. Kick It Bunny. It's a game where you're a rabbit kicking blocks into puzzles while crocodiles that look like Croc from Legend of the Gobos.
Oh, I love that game.
They try to bite you. This game is bad. Don't buy this game. Void Gore is this week's East Asia Soft shooter. It's pretty much a shmup.
I do like the artwork that they've been like the cover art.
The cover artwork looks like a fucking like death metal album. It's kind of rad.
It looks like the stuff you'd find on the TurboGrafx.
Yeah, it's a good cover.
This is a lot of satanic imagery.
Yeah, the game itself is like a 8-bit.
Yeah, it don't look like that. Yep. It looks like a TurboGrafx game.
Yeah, the hook of the game is that it's a shooter that's like, see how far you can go before you die, and then the hook to the shooting is that you can hold, like, as you shoot enemies, you build up this circle around the ship, and you can use it to, like a bomb, like a screen-clearing bomb, but it only clears what's in the circle's radius. That's kind of the hook, and then, like I said, it's a run base, so you shoot, and you play till you die, and then you start over, and just keep going. Excuse me. The next game was Speed Limit, which is like this genre-changing game. Like you go through the levels, and every time you get to a new area, the genre of the game changes. The first level is you running on top of a train, like shooting people. It's really hard, but it does have great checkpoints. I'm not a fan of its pixel art style. Like, it reminds me of kind of like Oxenfree's pixel art style. I don't really like that, like the long, lanky looking characters. I'm not a big fan of that.
I loved Oxenfree.
I mean, it might be a good game. I'm just talking about the art style, the pixel art style.
Is Oxenfree isn't pixel art?
I thought it was.
No.
What am I
No.
thinking? What am I thinking of then? That's like the
Sword
long.
and Sorcery.
Well, that doesn't sound like what I'm thinking of.
That sounds like what you're thinking of.
Well, I've
by
never played that
description.
game, so I
Yeah, Super Brothers. Yeah, that's when you say long pixel art. That's what I think of.
I just think of like their long arms, their long legs, kind of like. Let me look at this picture. Yeah,
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that,
Yeah, that's Swords and Sorcery.
Okay, I didn't play that, so I don't know. I can't be
It's
thinking
also,
of.
it's got a little bit of out of this world to it as well. Although the pixel art's obviously different.
Yeah, I think I'm more of a fan of the like chunky pixel art than I am the like lanky pixel art. But anyway, it's a neat game. I played. No, go ahead.
I was just coughing.
Oh, okay. Boom Blaster. That game is not fun. It's one of those games where you're going left to right, and you control the aiming with like the right stick, and your character looks like he's having like a seizure or his back is breaking while he's like aiming. I did not enjoy this. It's got bad platforming. The shooting is not fun. I didn't enjoy that game. Rodent Warriors is like a left to right turn-based RPG, but it's not turn-based. Like you get to the enemy and you mash a button and they attack, and eventually you gain more attacks. Pixel art style, I didn't care for that game either. Then I played Anodyne 2, and I felt like I needed some mind-altering drugs for that game.
well,
That game's fucking
Okay.
weird.
yeah, that game is a lot weirder than the first game. The first game is weird, but it starts off like a Zelda clone, the first game, and then it sort of picks up the pace towards the end, and then it just shatters and turns into like, what the fuck is going on? In the second game, they kind of start you there, and I know that it says like, oh, this is its own work, but it does have a lot to do with the first game. Not that you need to play the first game, but you will get more out of the second game if you've played the first.
I don't know if I want any more out of it because I'm already creeped out.
Yeah, well, that doesn't change based on knowing the first game. Like this game, I actually had to stop playing the second one because I was like, I don't like this. But I've been meaning to go back because it is weird. It's just, even I have limits.
It's very weird. It's
I'm assuming you met the big guy with the tongue.
yeah, that you got to go inside,
Yeah, well, that's everything. You go inside,
and then it turns into like almost like a Game Boy game.
Well, that's what the first game played like.
Yeah, but like this one is like a PS1 3D game when you're running around, and then when you
Yep.
bump into these creatures, you have to
You
go inside
their
and
head
and then
talk
like
about the dust.
yeah. Well, you can also talk to the dust.
Well, there's people. No, so
I thought those were
Head,
dusts.
so when you go inside their head, the dust is the dust. The other people in there, like they have other people living inside their head. Like
Yeah.
later on, there's bigger areas that have full like cities and stuff living in their head.
Jesus Christ.
It's fucking. That makes no sense even based off of like the first game's stuff.
I mean,
So
this game just
fucking
like the
out there.
big fucking tongue dude just standing there bouncing up and down is creeping me out
He's
enough.
got- and he has, because the dust has corrupted him where he can never feel full, so he just keeps eating.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, it's
It's got some fucking twisted ass music and just
although I love the music. The
It's
music's
twisted.
done by the guy who does the programming too. Like it's two people that made that game.
I mean, I can't stop thinking about it. So they succeeded on that front.
I've been trying to get Drew to play the first one.
This game is fucking weird. I don't. Oh,
There's like, to anyone that's listening to this and going, that sounds awful. There's a lot to unpack with Anodyne that I would have to have like a whole podcast on, and I'm just talking the game.
yeah. It's a
So
weird game.
the second game, the parts that I've played is like another podcast, and then I know that there's even. So, yeah.
Anyway, and then the last thing I played on the Xbox was the Blizzard Arcade Collection. I'm really impressed with this collection because it only contains 3 games, but I like that it contains multiple versions of each game. So like the Lost Vikings has the Super Nintendo version and the Genesis version and then the definitive version, and you can choose to play which one you want. The behind the scenes artwork, storyboards, box art section of this thing is super impressive. Rock and Roll Racing has all the music in it, so like the first race I booted up was Breaking the Law by Judas Priest.
They actually,
nice.
one of the guys that works at Blizzard told people, like, if you're going to stream this, you need to turn the music off.
Yep, it's got all the music in there, and it's
Please tell me that's one of our stories.
Yeah, we'll talk about Metallica
Okay, all right.
later on.
Yeah, thank you.
But no, I'm really, really impressed by this collection. It's only $20, $30 if you want the skins, which I want.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I was just about to say. Like, Ken bought this because of the skins.
Well, I was gonna buy it anyway, but I did spend the extra $10 to get the Reinhardt skin, and I might boot up Diablo to see what that was because you get something for that too. Because fucking StarCraft. Overwatch, StarCraft. So now I have Kerrigan and I have Raynor skins. And that's pretty fucking cool. Also, what's funny, Drew, is I got that skin.
You got the Kerrigan skin?
Yeah, the one for Widowmaker.
I thought that was Nova.
Well, there's Nova too.
There's a Kerrigan skin too? I didn't know that one.
I thought she had both.
I thought she just had Nova.
I thought she had both. Maybe I'm crazy.
Because you know Nova's a sniper.
Yeah, she's got a
With
good
a good
eye.
Fucker. I hate both you and I at the same time.
The sad part is I got that skin, and when I played this weekend, I was doing Mystery Heroes, and I never got Reinhardt.
So, is it just the skin?
Yeah.
Or did they actually get the voice actor?
I don't know if there's anything different, because like I said, I didn't get to play as him. So I don't know.
God. If they actually got Raynor.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Yep. Hammer down.
And then I spent an afternoon, and Wombat gave me shit about this on Twitter. I spent an afternoon getting a 360 hooked back up. And I don't even know why I did it.
What did you start off with? What was your mindset when you said, I'm going to hook my 360 back up?
I don't even know.
Old.
I saw it.
Got old and the dementia kicked in.
I remember what it was. So I have an M Classic, which is like this thing you put on the HDMI to kind of clean up the visuals of older games that run in low resolutions. And I was like, I wonder what the 360 looks like on this. And it just happened to be sitting in the closet in a bin, and I was like, well, I'm going to hook it up and find out. Which, by the way, don't forget...
I can tell you how to figure that out. You play your 360 games on your Series X.
Yeah, but that's not native, Drew.
Come the hell on.
And besides, there's a bunch of shit you can't play on the Xbox Series.
Oh, come on.
Stop, okay?
What are you going to do? You can play Mind Jack?
I played Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection.
Jesus.
That's what I played.
Drew, out of all the 360 games to choose, really?
Because Mind Jack's not backwards compatible.
I mean, neither is Max Payne 3, which I would rather play.
Again, like, that's not a... There's a lot that's not backwards compatible, and you still are like, Mind Jack.
That's the only thing I can think of.
I just want to say this. If you are not playing old consoles, you know, the old like PS3, Xbox 360, which I know Drew's on PS3 lately. If you're not playing these old consoles, you have no fucking appreciation of how good we have it right now. The Xbox 360 is a dumpster fire now.
Okay, so
not only do you have that big ass power brick,
yes,
which sucks. That dashboard is so fucking laggy.
That's on older. Like, so I have the last version of the 360.
I have the glistening one, whatever that one was.
Yeah, you have the S.
But that still should be
Fighter.
better.
You're right. But can you imagine running the old one?
I have one of those.
Hook it up. I'm sure
I
you can run
have.
worse.
I just recently gave away my old one. That
Like,
came with
I'm
the 20
using-
gig hard drive.
I'm using the Model E, which is the last one that they put out. That was during the time of the Xbox One, and there's no issues. It's still a clunky mess, but it's not like there's no lag or anything.
Oh,
I'll
also,
tell you.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, you can't tell me anything because, like you said, I have been playing PlayStation 3 games.
Let me just put this out there though. You go in, like, there's no game library that tells you what you own.
You go through a list, right?
You have to go through the list of the entire list of games.
Yeah, well,
It doesn't.
PlayStation
There's
3's
no.
got the same problem.
What's that?
PlayStation 3 has the same problem.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. We have no idea how good we have it that we can go into the Xbox, Series X or PS5 dashboard and see everything that we own. You can't do that on the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. It's fucking terrible.
Dude, the PlayStation 3 was a friggin' nightmare. Going back to that for Phoenix Down, like doing a bunch of those bad games and stuff like that. Holy crap, man.
Oh, also,
you want to talk about a bad time.
Oh, also, let me tell you this. You remember how the Xbox 360, every time you bought a new game on the store, it would automatically download it?
Yeah, it still does that.
Yeah.
Right, Ken?
Yeah. I booted that thing up.
That
As soon as I logged in, it literally queued up about 300 games that I had picked up.
all the 360 compatible games that you've bought since will try to download to this.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it because I turned it off after I was done messing with it. And as I'm sitting there watching TV that night, I see that little green light pulsing. And I'm like, why is it? I was like, what's it downloading? I was like, I didn't tell it to download it. So I turn it on. It's already downloaded 17 games, and it's in the midst of like this list of like 60 that it's got queued up to download. I was like,
you want to play Kingdom for Kethlings? Because there you go.
Actually, I want to play Outpost Koloki X. That's why I put it up.
God. Hexic HD.
Dude, I can play Hexic on the Xbox Series X.
I know.
Well, you can play
Explosion Man.
The Explosion Man was rad as fuck.
Aegis Wing.
Aegis Wing.
Aegis
there you
Wing
go.
is rad as fuck. Don't
That's
say
backwards compatible.
Keflings, that's the one. Yes, that's the one you can play on the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, Aegis Wing is backwards compatible, so I can play. You can't buy that game anymore because it was free.
Yeah, it was free.
You know what game you can't play that was free?
What?
Yaris.
Yaris. I knew you were going to say that.
Yaris, motherfucker.
You know what else you can't play that was free? PT.
It's not a game. It was a demo. All right. Nope, that's it. That's my gaming for the week. I was trying to think. I talked about Saturn and 3DO last week. That's what I played with on my emulation.
Has anyone been playing, or can you talk about it, Bravely Default?
No. That's a Nintendo game. Ever since that fucker dumped a Nintendo game, the PR company basically only gives early access to like the biggest sites.
Okay.
They haven't gone
I
back.
just wondered. I've got it on pre-order, so I thought, well, I wonder how it is.
No, isn't there a demo out there or something?
Yes, or download that really.
And then there's the demo for their new thing.
Shh, you're jumping ahead.
Listen, you set the standard of this podcast.
Yeah, you can't. You kind of brought that on yourself, Ken.
I know. I was having fun. Shut your mouth.
Yeah, and I was having fun.
Shut your mouth. Your mouth.
Shut your filthy mouth.
All right.
I'll tell you what. Not talking about games, but talking about doing things. I watched Monster Hunter.
Yeah, you did. That movie's pretty good.
It is. I will give you that. It pleasantly surprised. However, has no ending. That pissed me off. It's
Yeah.
like everything has to be a fucking universe.
Yeah,
I
it's
hate it.
like they gotta set it up for a sequel that probably won't happen.
Yeah, it's like I don't get me wrong. I don't think Mila Jovovich is the greatest actress in the world, but she pulls this off fine. I thought Tony Jaa was fantastic in it, and especially Ron Perlman in a big blonde wig is just brilliant.
Ron
Kinds of
Perlman's
Ron.
hair in that movie is worth watching that movie for.
Who does he play in that movie?
I don't know characters in Monster Hunter. Sorry.
So he's one of the Monster Hunter people, not one of the Special Forces people.
He
The
plays
Special
Monster.
Forces stuff is so... I don't know why they showed that in the trailer, because that's like hardly any part of the movie.
No.
It's like the first 10 minutes about it.
His
no,
character is the Admiral.
You get
He's
to-
the Admiral.
You get
Okay.
to play... You get to see the Palicos, though, and that's pretty
Yeah,
fucking great.
it's so good. They do a lot of service, I think, for fans. But again, the film has no ending, and it's like I don't mind you doing like a little tease, something to come and maybe do something, but this film literally has no ending. The whole point of the film is to get to this tower, and they get to it, and it ends, and it's like don't do that because you might not make a sequel.
I'll tell you what, though, that last scene is pretty fucking rad, though.
It's just pretty fucking.
It's just pretty fucking rad when they go back to the other world, and it's like, holy shit, this is visually impressive. Holy shit.
Yeah, I must admit again, I was surprised because I thought the special effects were very good considering. I don't think this had a massive budget, and I know it's Paul W. Anderson. All I can get from this film and from his previous work is that he must really, really hate his wife. Because he puts her through so much shit in that film, but it's actually, if you get a chance to see it, it's actually worth watching.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
really good.
It's nothing special. It's not a great film. It's not as if it's going to win anything, but it was.
It's a fun ass 100 minutes.
Yeah, it's.
Do any of them actually wear like decked out armor?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and they do the fans. So like part of the whole thing is making the armor out of the monsters that they've already killed. It is actually a Monster Hunter film.
Yeah, like I don't know why the trailer was just that fucking
How they got here, kind of
yeah,
thing?
because that's literally like John said, like the first 10 minutes of the movie, that's done.
And the pacing's pretty good because it does. There's a couple of moments where they have sort of some character building, and it is. I think they do well considering there are two different languages and they don't understand each other, the two main characters. But there is basically non-stop action. It goes from the start of the movie where they're in our world and your army guys suddenly get sucked into their world and they're trying to figure out where they are. But from that point on, it goes from scene to scene, pretty much hunting monsters. It's pretty cool.
John, can you name any of the monsters that they actually hunted in the...
Rathalos.
Okay, so they did do Rathalos.
Yeah, Rathalos, Diablos.
Diablos is in there, okay.
Yeah.
Who's the big
Palico is
bad?
in there.
Sorry?
Who's the big bad?
The Rathalos.
The Rathalos is? Okay.
The spider things, I don't know what they're called, but the scorpion type, horrible. They're creepy as fuck. But I'm sure they were. But again, I'm not a huge monster hunter. I like the world, but I'm not a fan. I was pleased to see the Palicos. That was kind of cool.
Were they all CG?
Yeah, they're
Yes,
definitely
it was
CG,
good.
but that scene
It's
where he
good.
winks is the best scene in
Yes.
that movie.
But yeah, again,
Do they have a scene where they sit down and eat a huge meal?
They show him preparing a meal. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. As long as I get a Palico making a delicious meal, I'm okay.
Oh, that's
And
like
it's very
yeah.
reminiscent of the whole Monster Hunter World bit when it's done in that vein. It's very cool.
Yep. That movie.
I might have to watch this. This sounds like it's just a fun time.
Oh, it's an
It's-
absolutely fun time, and like it's one of those movies. Like I don't have any vested interest in Monster Hunter, and like video game movies are usually shit.
Hmm.
And then I watched this, I was like, wow, that was a hell of a lot better than it had any right to be.
Yeah, I came out of that feeling very much the same as I did with Sonic the Hedgehog. I was expecting it to be terrible, and I actually came out and I thought I had fun.
But John, if we're gonna have this conversation, we gotta have this conversation. Did you see that motherfucking Mortal
Yes, I
Kombat
fucking
trailer?
did.
I think everybody's seen the Mortal Kombat trailer.
my
Yeah.
That
I tell you
looks
what, I
so
cannot wait.
good.
It's amazing, and like everything's there. I mean, properly, like the fatal, like the moves. Oh, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
That scene where
My thing
Sub-Zero
is they're going to end up.
where he
Go
cuts
ahead.
Scorpion and it turns the blood into a fucking spear and stabs him with it. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So-
makes Paul W.S. Anderson's Mortal Kombat kind of look lame in comparison.
It does, yeah, and that's exactly what you have to do with this film. Though you can't. Don't get me wrong. I think Mortal Kombat. Talking about Paul W. Anderson, I thought that film was fantastic because it knew what it was. It was cheese enough, but Mortal Kombat isn't cheese anymore. The game it's taken on this whole new life because the story's really good. The fighting's and the gore has improved as the series has gone on. But now Mortal Kombat, the game, is very different than it was back in the 90s. And I think because of that, the film has to be very different. But it seems from the trailer that they've leaned into everything that makes the games special. And I really hope they pulled it off.
What I found the most interesting was I've seen all the actors, because I looked it up on IMDb. I've seen all the actors in other things, or recognize that they've been in things that I know, like haven't watched myself, but people have talked about. And so everybody's like an actor. Like it's not like, oh, we've just found some new guy that we're gonna throw in. But no one's big enough where I go, oh, it's just insert movie star here. Like that's a really good choice because then I feel like I'm actually watching the characters and not just, whatever movie star.
They've not just gone for martial artists either, or MMA fighters, which could have been an easy route to take with this.
Like they did in the video game, because she was great. Sonya Blade. Oh.
Yeah. Let's not talk about her or the other MMA fighter who's not very favourable at the moment. Let's not talk about those. But, I just get the feeling that this has been made with love for the franchise, and who knows? It's Warner Brothers. They can completely fuck it up because it's Warner Brothers. But fingers crossed that trailer, there's hope.
Well, I watched the breakdown. The director goes through the trailer and points the things out. He knows. He knows his shit. Like he was bringing up things that I'm like, okay, I'm impressed. You know what you're talking about, and like there's little like Easter eggs in the trailer, and he pointed those out, and he's like, yeah, that had to be there. That had to be there. So,
I mean, just the opening sequence with Jax getting his arms ripped off.
Oh,
he talked about. What's funny is he talked about it. He's like, we know this is not canon. He's like, but with a movie, we had to set up this thing between, the Sub-Zero that they're hunting and the reason why. And he's like, I know that's not canon, but we had a little freedom with it.
But
it doesn't need to be canon though, does it?
No.
I mean, again, it's like Mortal Kombat have got their own story, and it's been fantastic. But when you come into the film world, very much like with Marvel and comic books and things, the comic books have their own timeline, and the films have their own universe. They don't have to. I think you just have to be respectful of the source material.
Well, there's like a fine line with what you're adapting. So in the case of Mortal Kombat, yes, the newer games have a lot of lore and story, but I think you can be true to that and tell your own story still. Because obviously they've played fast and loose with theirs when they just retconned everything as a premonition, right?
Oh yeah.
But then you look at something, because I don't know if it was over the last week or if we just didn't talk about it last week's podcast, but The Last of Us TV show. I don't know if that was the greatest decision, even if I'm okay with the actors, because those are really established characters. Like, that's the reason why you play that. Like, Mortal Kombat is a good fighting game that just happens to have a good story. But, like, The Last of Us brings you in with the story. So it's like you either have to stay true to it and the characters, or you do your own thing. And at that point, why bother?
Why do it? Yeah. No, but yeah, Mortal Kombat is a very different type of game, as you say. You can go your own fork with that. You can go your own direction. But yes, the story of The Last of Us is very much what makes that what it is.
And I should note that, like, I understand that somebody might say, "Well, you're saying fighting." No, I mean, you gotta have to be true to the characters still. Looking at you, Street Fighter: The Legend of.
Oh, I can't even. That film was terrible.
I think Anthony's the only person that brings that movie up ever.
Because
didn't that have the girl out of Smallville?
Yeah,
Kristen Kruk.
That's yes, that was really bad.
And what was his name, Drew?
Chris Klein.
Chris Klein
as Charlie Nash.
Whatever happened to
He's
him?
not a good actor.
He's actually in a Netflix show now that came out last year.
Oh, there you go.
You know what? The only thing I need to know at this point about the Mortal Kombat movie that I haven't heard about yet is why isn't Chun-Li in it?
Well, here's a question because I don't know if I saw him in the trailer. Is Johnny Cage in this movie?
No.
No.
But the director did say there's a place for everybody in the movie, but he won't explain what that means.
Okay.
He said I got them all.
And stuff like that.
He's gonna show up at the end, and it's gonna lead up to a second movie.
I would be 100% down for it because
you can't have Mortal Kombat without Johnny Cage.
He said he's not in the movie, but he is a part of the movie, like every character.
He's like the official fish out of water, like
I think it would be
I'm a
great.
cool guy, and then he's like, "Oh shit, these people are trying to kill me."
It'd be great if they took all their budget on like an actual movie star sort of person and put them in the character role of the movie star.
Yeah.
How do we think that? Because this goes the same for Monster Hunter. This in a world where the cinema doesn't exist, how do they gauge success with something like this? Because yes, they say it's at the cinemas. It's not going to be at the cinemas. Cinemas won't be open, but it's going to be on HBO. So how do Warner
subscriptions
know if that's a success? But this is also the same month that people are coming in for Zack Snyder's. They can do it based on subscriptions, but also they have the viewing data. How many times was it viewed? Yeah, I know, but I don't know. It's just my fear is that they're gonna.
Yeah.
All right.
Dead.
So
what?
While he's dead, I do want to bring up the fact that
while he's dead.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I dead?
Yeah, you died.
You were.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. But how do you judge a metric? Even, I don't know, Warner Brothers have a history of being arseholes and not really doing well with their franchises. And I just worry that this is...
I mean, if I get one good movie, I know it sucks, but, like, I've had so many bad movies that I'm happy with a good movie.
And I would like to note that, like, you're still under the impression that this is the only way people are going to watch it. There will be people that buy it.
Yeah, I'll buy it. 100%.
You'll see video on demand options for people that don't have access to or aren't willing to subscribe to HBO Max. So those are two direct sales.
When does this come out?
April.
Yeah,
and it'll be available on HBO Max for 30 days.
Just to stream.
You'll see on any pirate place after that.
But you'll see subscriptions rise when stuff comes out too. So they'll look at those new subscribers and what they're watching, and see if it's worth bringing back. Netflix has you'll notice that Netflix series generally don't run past 3 seasons. That's because they don't bring anyone new in.
No.
So, there is, I assume, some logic to putting a bunch of money into one movie and getting people to come and watch it than pouring money into a series that has diminishing returns.
I don't care, how this stuff comes about. I just really hope that this does well because I am so happy that HBO Max is putting every theatrical release that they're releasing in 2021 on HBO Max.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thing ever.
And we're only thinking about Western audiences. I mean,
Well,
I don't
no,
know
you're
what
not.
to be shown as in.
You're thinking of US audiences because in the UK we don't have HBO Max.
But that's what I was saying though. Like video on demand in the UK, like I don't have it in Canada. So
we don't. We like Wonder Woman came out here shortly after. I think a couple of weeks after it had HBO Max, but to rent it was very expensive. It was probably about $25 to rent it. I'm not paying that.
That's what all theater
That's what
movies
Disney's
are.
pulling off.
Yeah, well, that's any like if you go to Vudu and you look at the movie, the theater at home thing, they're all $20 to rent.
It's too expensive. I mean, I would rather have, in all honesty, a HBO Max over here. I don't think we can because I think HBO have a deal for their TV stuff with Sky. So a lot of the HBO TV stuff that might end up on Max comes over here on Sky. So I don't know how that works with the movie side of things. But I kind of, in a way, wish I had a subscription service like HBO Max that I could pay and I could subscribe and watch these in a legitimate way without being charged through the nose.
Yeah.
Ken, how much did you pay to watch Monster Hunter?
I didn't.
See, and you,
it isn't out over here.
All right, Ken, how much did you pay?
I bought it.
So you bought like a Blu-ray of it?
No, I bought it on. I don't buy discs anymore. So if I buy a movie, I buy it on demand.
I will also, by the way, I will buy Monster Hunter because that was a fun film. But
Can you rent it though?
Yeah, you can. So the way the rental works is like when it's still in the theater, you can rent it for $20. Once it's out of the theater, you can rent it for I think $5 for HD or $6 for 4K.
Okay.
Over here, it's different though. It's there is no cheaper renting. You have to wait about a couple of months, I think. So, for example, Wonder Woman is still available to rent, but it is also still the equivalent of $25.
Yeah.
And where are you renting this from?
You can rent it from anywhere. iTunes, Amazon, Vudu. Yeah.
We don't have YouTube sometimes offers it too.
Yeah, it's pretty much any service that has movies that you can watch streaming. You can rent it there.
I wonder if Amazon has it.
Yeah, Amazon does.
Yeah,
okay.
Probably do.
Yep.
I looked into Monster Hunter. Apparently, $1 million budget, and it did not make its money back. So,
no, people shat all over it on the internet. And didn't
it's not even that. It grossed $12.9 million in the United States and Canada, and $15.5 million in other territories. So, $28.4 million grossed.
Has it been out in China yet?
Yeah, it was. Then it got pulled.
Yeah, it got pulled because of the joke, right?
What kind
the
of
thing is that
Chinese.
film was partly funded by Tencent.
Yeah,
so
it's Tencent
films aimed
films.
at Chinese audience. So that was probably what killed it.
That was the second
it
movie
got
that I saw this week that was 10-cent films. I can't remember what the other one was, but yeah. I'm seeing a lot more 10-cent films.
So let's face it then, Monster Hunter probably isn't going to get a sequel.
No,
and
probably
yet
not.
that film didn't end. That's the problem with that kind of thing.
All right, let's move on. Video games. What's coming out this week? If you have an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5, you get nothing.
Yeah.
Not a game coming out this week. But you can play all the back and pack games, which we have a few of those coming out this week. We have Bibby and Tina at the Horse Farm.
Oh, boy.
That sounds like a movie you don't want to watch on the internet.
John said he's up for review on that.
Yeah.
Fuck right off.
Curse of the Dead Gods, Horned Knight, Persona 5 Strikers,
That I'd do.
Taxi Chaos, which is essentially Crazy Taxi without the offspring, Pumpkin Jack making its way to PlayStation. If you've not played that game, you should play that game.
What is that game?
It's a 3D platformer and it's wonderful.
Okay.
Werewolf the Apocalypse, Heart of the Forest. No, this is not DLC for Werewolf the Apocalypse.
No, it's another graphic adventure visual novel.
They are dying for us to review this. I've probably got like 20 emails asking if I want a code for this game, and I just no.
What is werewolf then thing that I've seen it about? I bear in mind that over the past few months, I have also not been on the show. I have also not really I've only put my toe in what goes on. So I've that and Valheim I've heard a lot of.
Well,
What is this werewolf thing?
the Werewolf the Apocalypse game that came out like last month on PS5 and Xbox Series X, that's a bad stealth action game. It's not very good.
Oh, okay.
This is a graphic novel, like Anthony said, and Valheim is another survival game.
Okay.
So,
Again, I hear C words and I don't fully understand.
Valheim is the new hotness amongst streamers. That'll tell you what that is.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. That means it's like Among Us or Fall Guys.
It's a cultural defining moment right now where that game is getting
Last
millions
10
and
minutes.
millions of viewers, and like it's a survival game. So,
Fair enough.
moving out, Movers in Paradise, it's expansion, Wrath, Aeon of Ruin, Jupiter Grad, and my personal favorite this week, Retromania Wrestling.
Yeah, boy.
That's coming out on Friday.
I'm surprised you're not excited about Wrath Aeon.
Why would I be excited about that? What is that?
It's a first-person Quake-like game.
I've not heard of that game.
You might want to look into that game.
I might look into that game. I love those kind of games. Xbox, we're getting Active Neurons 3, Wonders of the World, Akuto Showdown, Beyond Enemy Lines Remastered Edition, Dungeons and Bombs. I really can't wait for Retromania Wrestling. That game looks so much like the shit.
What's that coming out on again?
Everything. It's on Switch, PS4,
Everything?
or Xbox, PC. Yeah, I
Yep.
was chatting with those guys on Twitter the other day. And
I've seen it. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, and it's got some good, like, it's got Legion of Doom in it.
Yep. It's kind of like WrestleFest.
Yeah, yeah, I used to play WrestleFest at Hills all the time when I was a kid. I fucking love that game.
Yeah, Ken, can you do me a favor and put me down for Wrath Aeon of Ruin coming to consoles, whatever it's on? Because I forgot, it's made by 3D Realms.
I'll see if I have anything from them.
It's in the actual Quake engine.
I will have to check my email and see if we got anything.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I know that guy. I can get
All
that.
right. Yeah, do me a solid, thank you.
Switch, Nintendo Switch. What's coming out this week? A lot. Off-road mini racing, ski jump challenge, on Chi.
John's wondering if Honey Pop is coming to the Switch.
I'll let you.
Probably.
I'll let you know when I get there. I got about 600 more to go. Dry Drowning. Okay. Dinos and Ghosts. Johnny Bonansera full season. Rogue Heroes Ruins of Tasos. Iota. Retrace Memories of Death. Airy, A Journey Beyond Time. Blastful. Castle Kong. Clocker. Code Realize Wintertide Miracles. Code Breaker Puzzle 1000 Ing and Jan. Demon's Rise, Lord of Chaos. Dotori, Forward to the Sky. Oh, this next one's my jam. Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection is out this week.
Is that like a remake?
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
It's beautiful. Hellpoint, Lawnmower Game Racing.
So close to Lawnmower Man, but
I know.
not there.
I thought we were going to have a Jeff Fahey conversation again. I was down
boy.
for it.
What's Lapidus up to these days?
Legal Dungeon, Littlewood. That's what the ladies call John. Littlewood. Mike Dies. Republic. Steam Prison. That's where you go if you buy Hoonie Pop.
Honey Pop.
Hoonie Pop. I call it Hoonie Pop. Under Leaves. Bravely Default 2. Demon Hunter Revelation. Monster Truck XT Airport Derby. And Thunder Flash. Oh. There you go. There's your
Tell a
game.
load of shit again.
Speaking of Nintendo, let's do some news. Holy cow, they had a direct. It was 50 minutes long, and everybody was like, Ermagerd, the first one in like 500 and 300 days. You know?
Do they count still?
Oh
People
yeah.
count
Oh,
how many days.
oh, the internet was all about counting how long it had been since the last
Yeah,
direct.
they are allowed to have a break every so often.
So let me just start before we get into the announcement on this, and just say that if this had been a PlayStation or Xbox event, they would have been laughed out of the fucking room. But it's Nintendo. So let's go through what was announced. Fall Guys is coming to Nintendo Switch this summer.
Oh boy.
It's also coming to Xbox, which was announced like 20 minutes after the direct.
Nobody cared because
No.
it was Xbox.
Yeah, because Xbox sucks. That's the way the internet works. Apex Legends is coming to Switch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do people still play that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stubbs the Zombie is coming back.
That was probably the biggest surprise. I mean, I never thought I'd ever see that name again come up ever.
So it's coming to everything. It was just confirmed at the Nintendo event, but it's coming to Switch, PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
Never liked that game.
Me either.
EA announced the next game that will die a horrible death, Knockout City.
Yep. What was that game that was shit? Rocket
Arena. Remember that game?
Arena,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember that
I remember
Ubisoft Battle Royale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was rubbish.
So is this a battle royale game?
It's a 3v3 dodgeball game that's only online.
Gotcha.
So, bye.
Yeah, it's $20. Be out in May.
And so I would wait until June and get it for free.
Yeah. Or
And then nobody's playing it then.
Yeah, but it is cross-play and cross-progression, so maybe it'll last a little bit longer.
No, probably won't.
Samurai Warriors 5 was announced for the Nintendo Switch, so prepare for slowdown. That game is also coming to PS4 and Xbox and PC as well. Star Wars Hunters was announced, but we don't know anything other than it's a third-person online-only game. Monster
Is that
Hunter.
only Switch as well, or is that?
I haven't heard what all that's on. I know it's coming to Switch for sure, but I haven't heard if it's on anything else.
Okay. Who's making it? Do we know?
Zynga. That's right. That's the Zynga jam.
Oh God, that's going to be terrible. That's going to be mobile type style of game, isn't it?
Monster Hunter Rise, Apex Monsters, and Rampage mode were announced. That game
That's
is out.
going to be solid.
Yeah. That game is out in April, right?
Yes,
Or is it
April,
March?
I believe. It may be March. Now that I'm thinking about it.
You might be right. I think it might be March.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't. I'm definitely going to be playing that one.
Probably my most exciting first-party announcement from Nintendo at the show was Mario Golf Super Rush.
I am definitely going to be playing that one.
Yeah, I love Mario Golf.
Probably my least exciting first-party announcement was Miitopia.
I don't. What is that?
That's that 3DS thing where the Miis are playing
It's
an
Animal
RPG.
Crossing, but with Mii's, so...
It's
I thought it
never
was an
gonna
RPG.
No, that's the other one.
They were doing RPG shit in the trailer.
top. Yeah, they were.
Like literally had a party and said you could get a horse in your party. Remember that?
Oh, I have the wrong game.
Okay.
That, I was thinking the Island Resort one that I cannot remember what it's called. You're right. Miitopia is the RPG. God
Okay.
damn it. What's the
Okay.
other one?
Speaking of RPGs, they announced a lot. Legend of Mana coming to the Nintendo Switch. The Outer Wilds. What's
Is
that?
that another? Is Legend of Mana an old one again?
Yes.
Or...
Yes.
Okay.
It's a Square
By the
Enix
way-
game.
How many manas are there?
400,000.
Okay, just checking.
It was Tomodachi Life is what I was...
There you go.
That was the one. Yes, I know what one that was. Yes.
Outer Wilds is coming to Switch, and thanks to that trailer, everybody knows what the game is, so they don't need to play it. I mean, that trailer literally spoiled everything in that game, which I was just like, wow.
Is there spoilers for that game?
Extreme spoilers, Drew.
Oh. I thought it was just an exploration game.
Nope.
Oh, glad I didn't watch the trailer.
Yeah, no, don't watch that trailer if you don't want to know the hook of that game, because they just... Here it is.
Okay.
Famicom Detective Club.
What is that?
It's
a
a
visual novel. Anthony probably knows better than I do.
visual novel that you do detective work in, so it's right up my alley.
Okay.
Neon White, which looked interesting and aesthetic until I saw they were using cards, and I was like, nope, fuck it, I'm out. If your game has cards,
behind donut counting.
if your game has cards or rogue in the description, I'm out.
Oh, I like the look of Neon White. That's
Oh, look! Visually, it looks super cool, but then they started using
even the
cards. Yeah.
I mean, I played Mega Man Battle Network. That basically had cards.
Yeah,
I
and that
love those
sucked.
games. Oh, get fucked.
I like
Just
Battle Network.
straight get fucked.
Anything with cards in it sucks. I don't like cards.
You're an idiot.
How about Phantom Dust?
I didn't like Phantom Dust. You know that. No More Heroes 3 coming out in August.
I forgot that game even existed.
Yep.
I never liked those games.
I liked them a lot, but yeah.
The third one's coming to the Switch in August. The biggest exclusive announced at the Nintendo Direct for the Nintendo Switch is DC Superhero Girls Team Power.
The hell is that?
I don't know, John. What is it?
Why would I know? It's not got anime tits in it.
It's
Sure
true.
sounds like it does by the description.
I mean, it's teen. Come on, Anthony. Teen Power. Don't be gross. Teen. It's the DC girl. What was it?
Okay.
Barbara Gordon.
Japan teen means something completely different. It means that she's
We
a
ain't in
100-year-old person inside the body of a teenager.
Yeah.
Weird fucking shit.
What's that shit called?
Creepy. Pedophilia.
Like, what is it? Oh fuck! What is that? Do you know there's a
The
name?
lollies?
Yeah, lollies. That's what it is. That shit's gross.
Yeah, no, I don't know the DC. Apparently, it's based off of a show, but
Yeah, it's like
saw
one of those
people really
Nickelodeon shows or something. Yeah, it's got like Batgirl,
Titan thing.
Supergirl, Wonder Woman, that kind of stuff.
So what type of game is it?
Looks like a 3D beat 'em up kind of game.
I've been pleasantly surprised by some of the tie-in stuff that's come out as of late. Generally, I end up reviewing them. So.
Well, we look forward to DC Superhero Girls Teen Power.
The only thing
you know
that
what?
pops.
If you
Go ahead.
if you get a code, Ken, and you hand it to me, I'll play it for review.
I bet you will. What were you gonna say, Drew?
I was just thinking the whole conversation previously. The only thing I'm thinking of is whenever you remember in Supernatural when Sam's like, "I really hope you're watching that cartoon smut," and he's like, "It's called anime, and it's an art."
It's art. Capcom Arcade Stadium was announced and released for the Nintendo Switch.
Also worth bearing in mind, because I downloaded that, they were giving you 1943 for free, but they're also giving you the Ghouls and Ghosts for free as well.
Yep, but that is coming to PS4 and Xbox at a later date, in case you want to wait.
I'm sure.
It's $40.
Nothing's really exclusive third party nowadays.
Yeah, it's $40 for every game, which it's got quite a few games, so it's really nice.
Yeah.
I did download it. It's a really nice layout. It really is.
I wish they'd have I wish it'd have also given you option to buy the games individually, as opposed to like not genres but time
Yeah.
eras.
Yeah.
Like you can buy all of them, or you can buy them in a pack of 3. But it would have been nice to maybe buy them like for the games that you just want. You know, like I want Forgotten Worlds, but I might not want something else that's in that pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Tales from the Borderlands returns. Coming to Switch.
Question: does anybody know how much it's coming out for?
No, they didn't announce a price. It's the
Yeah,
entire
I was gonna
thing.
say I have a feeling it's gonna be pricey.
Nintendo dedicated about as much time to this as most people dedicated to the game, but Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity expansion pass, they literally threw up a slide with bullet point list on it for about 12 milliseconds.
Was there a little asterisk at the bottom that says Breath of the Wild 2 is never coming out?
Well, they did
What you
address Breath of the Wild 2 when Anuma came out, and he said, we don't have anything to tell you.
Yeah, they literally wheeled them on. We don't have that, but please buy this because it's very much like Breath of the Wild. I love the fact they even said this was the last original game before Breath of the Wild. So please buy it because you
Yeah.
all bought that.
Yeah, no, Age of Calamity is it's fine. It's fine. Then
No, I don't.
there's the game the internet went bananas over, which is Project Triangle Strategy.
I somehow don't
What?
think that they're going to call that triangle strategy like they did with Project Octo.
Octopath Traveler. This is basically Final Fantasy Tactics made by the Octopath Traveler team.
Oh.
The same team as Bravely Default.
Yeah.
As someone pointed out, they underline everything, so they're like, "Why don't we just call this the Underline series?"
I think it's hilarious that it that game sounded like, and even the description of the game and the title all sound like they were just randomly generated by AI. Like that lady.
You've only got to stick the word project in front of something, and it's fine.
Well, triangle strategy is just like, come on.
It's because it's triangle, like the three different.
I know, but that sounds like an AI would make it up.
Yeah, I know. It is a. I mean, what I did like about the Octopath Traveler thing was that they, at least when the game came out, there was a reason for it being called Octopath. That was kind of, I like that, because Octopath seemed like a weird computer-generated name as well, but at least they gave it a meaning when it released. Whether they do that here, I don't know.
Nah. Ryu Hayabusa is returning in the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. And for some reason they put the Sigma versions of the game in there. Why would they do that?
Is that going to be on the Switch, but also then coming out?
It's
as
coming to
remasters
everything.
on-
It was literally after the thing I got the press release, and it's like, coming to PS4, Xbox, Switch, PC. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Basically, Nintendo Directs are times for companies to announce games that are coming to everything. That's what
Yeah.
World Ends Club, which is a game made by the Danganronpa team.
Really?
Well, you'll be down for that, won't you, Anthony?
Oh, that's a Drew thing.
That's a me thing right there.
I thought
That
was
is it's a
Anthony.
game about 12 people stuck in an underwater theme park.
That sounds like Danganronpa to me.
Yep. So you can check
I
that
never
out.
liked those games.
Animal Crossing is getting Super Mario items.
It's more than just the fact that they were getting Super Mario items. The warp pipe actually moves you across your island.
That is actually useful.
That's quite cool.
Plants vs.
But you can only have two, which is annoying.
I mean,
That's
that
fine.
sounds like a Nintendo ass asterisk.
Well,
doesn't
It's
it?
not even. But I mean, functionally you can only have two, because think of asking people to think this out more. And
Think of the
build,
children. Okay.
I mean, you should be competent enough in having a bunch of bridges, anyways. But there's always like one spot before you get to terraforming that you can't access easily. So
They just didn't want people to be laying all that pipe out in the islands, yo.
Yeah, it's nothing like laying out pipe.
Yeah. Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville Complete Editions coming to the Switch. So that's
Is that
one of
also
the.
coming out for other items? Oh wait,
It's already out. No,
I
that's
know, that was
another
a
one of
joke.
those EA games that they say. Well, they say they were doing like 7 Switch games this year. Well, there's one of them. You know that game that nobody plays on the other consoles? It's coming to Switch.
yeah, you would think they would I mean, to be fair, EA care about as much as the Switch as I care about EA, but you'd think they'd try a bit harder if they wanted to sell, because we all know that thing has sold gangbusters. You'd think they'd try a bit harder.
Yeah, I always find it funny when Sony guys are out there going, "Look how many we sold." I'm like, y'all know Switch is outselling you motherfuckers like 10-1, right? So if sales equate best console, Switch is numero uno, baby.
Yes, it's and again, you would think a company like EA would try a little harder.
Nah. Bravely Default 2 final trailer. Saga Frontier Remastered. That's another old-ass RPG coming. The show opened with a video of Xenoblade Chronicles, and it ended up being a Smash character, which Pyra and Mithra are coming to Super Smash Bros.
I mean, for as popular as that series has become, it makes sense to have more than just one character represent.
I know, it's like Smash Brothers needed another sword hero. Oh, wait. Damn it.
Well, to give some credit to Shulk that's already in the game, like he doesn't play like the other sword fighters. It's the same as Hero from Dragon Quest. Like it plays off of aspects of those games. So
It's
yes,
also
that's forward.
cool that it's a swappable hero, so there are two mechanics to it. You can swap in and out. So
You know what my
that's
favorite thing
something
to
new.
you know what my favorite thing to do when I boot up Smash Brothers is? Go to the sound test and listen to the soundtrack. It's the only thing that game's good for.
No, give me.
Wow, Ken just has all the bad takes today.
Oh shit. It's not a good fighting game. It's a bad fighting game.
It's not a fucking fighting game.
But that's
Yeah, I
what
was
they
gonna say,
sell
it's
it
not
as.
really- No,
They have it in Evo. That means they consider it a fighting game.
It's a
Yeah, but
fighting
they
game.
play-
It's just a different kind of fighting game.
That's what I mean.
It's a
Like,
bad
it's not...
fighting game.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he's
No
gonna.
reasoning
You know
is
what?
stupid, is there?
You know what Ken's like when he gets a bee in his bonnet. Don't argue with him.
I love it. I love it. Now the two big announcements. Let's get to those. We got a new Zelda coming, and it's not the one you wanted.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not
But it
even
does
the
mean that they will
remaster
come.
you wanted.
It's not
They-
any of the ones that I wanted.
That they will come though. This does mean at least that they will come.
Yeah, for $60 a pop, just like this one.
Yeah. Fair. I would pay $60 for Wind Waker.
Well, yeah, I'll pay $60
Okay,
for it. I thought it was so. The funniest thing I saw was like the internet blew up. They're like, I can't believe Skyward Sword HD is $60. You know what the best-selling game on Amazon is right now? Skyward Sword HD.
Skyward Sword HD. Yeah.
y'all complained about it, but y'all are gonna buy it.
So my question is,
Quite funny.
can I play this with a standard controller?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, no
have to.
need to
Yeah.
waggle my hands at all.
No motion.
No,
have
you
to.
use the analog stick instead.
Yeah.
Use the
Ah.
right analog stick to swing your sword.
Yeah. You
It's-
have to because it's the Switch Lite, but they have come up with the worst way possible to do it with controller.
What are you talking about? Jet Li Rise of Honor was amazing.
Fuck off.
It's like trying to play Grab by the Ghoulies again.
Or Two Human.
Yeah,
Two Human.
Two
did, Two Human did it too.
Or Too Human.
don't bring up Two Human in front of Ryan.
Somebody brought up Two Human on Twitter the other day when I said I hooked up my 360. I was like, motherfucker, you could play that on Xbox Series X. I ain't got to hook up a 360 to play that.
Can you?
Them shits
Yeah.
is free too. You can just go
Is it
download it.
backwards compatible?
Yeah,
Yes,
and it's free.
Well, I got it when it was free. 'cause
No,
that
it's
was
still
hilarious.
free. It's just free.
Oh, is it still free?
It's free,
I just-
period.
Yeah.
I thought it was only free for a bit, and then they had
No,
to take it
they
off.
can't
because
sell it.
was-
So they have to give it away. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a free game pretty much forever until they decide not to just have it there anymore.
That was hilarious.
So-
Good old Dennis Stark.
A new generation can check out Skyward Sword and realize how bad of a Zelda game it is.
I can't. I will be more excited when they announce the Wind Waker one.
Yeah, I'll take
They
Wind
will.
Waker and Twilight Princess all day.
You would think that though, because as you rightly point out at the beginning of the show this week, it is Zelda's actual 35th anniversary. You would think that they would have did more than just announce this. You would have thought they would have said all three are coming.
Oh my god.
Much
So,
like why not do it like a pack, like they did for Super Mario Sunshine?
because then they can't
64
sell it for $60 a piece.
Yeah, they can't sell them piecemeal.
I somebody hit me on Twitter the other day with an idea I didn't know I wanted, but now I have to have it. 35th anniversary of Zelda, remake Link to the Past in Link's Awakening engine for the Switch.
Well, okay, you could do that.
Oh, but think
Yeah.
about how awesome that
I
would be.
personally would rather them do it in the style of Link Between Worlds.
Nobody cares what you want, Anthony.
I did love Link Between Worlds.
I think that style fits the tone better.
I just want the high
I would-
definition of Link's
Well,
Awakening.
I would like the Oracle games to be combined into one finally.
Yeah, but that's never going to happen.
Well,
They never sold well,
I
did
mean-
they?
That's Capcom made those games.
Or
Oh,
how about
shit,
this?
it was-
How about this? Take the weird tilt shift design that they did for Link's Awakening and put it to a game where it would make sense, which is Minish Cap.
Nobody remembers Minish Cap.
I remember Minish
Oh,
Cap.
yeah.
there's a lot of people that remember
the
Minish
fuck
Cap.
out of
That
here,
game
Ken.
was good.
Yeah, Minish Cap's great.
I'm
Right,
sorry that
more
I can't
people.
take the opinion of people who play video games and keep up with video games. The general populace does not remember Minish Cap.
Oh,
Well-
man, okay, sure.
Just saying.
I'm not
we
gonna
had people
disagree with you,
defend.
but
We had people defend Skyward Sword. Do you think?
We're not
How the
talking
hell
about
do you
knowledge.
defend
Those are
I'm
just
gonna-
dumb people.
I'm going to tell you there's as many people that remember Minish Cap as there are that remember Wind Waker.
No.
No, I wouldn't say that.
No way.
If your locus
I would say-
is non-casual, if you're saying that the reason you don't think Minish Cap would get remade is because only people who play video games know of it, you
No.
telling me you can go out and talk to people who don't play video games and they know what Wind Waker is?
No, that's not what I'm
They
saying.
know Zelda. That's it.
I would say the level of
Zelda's a cool guy. He's got a sword.
Yeah, I would I would say that the level of awareness of Minish Cap's probably on the same level as Spirit Tracks. That's where
No,
I put it.
I'm referring to Ken's point that
Yes, I know.
he's not going to listen to people who play video games about what they remember about Zelda. And I'm telling you, the same group of video gamers that know Wind Waker also know Minish Cap.
I bet you that you were wrong about
They-
that. I bet more
they-
people
they
know
play
Wind
it on
Waker than they do Minish
Nintendo.
Cap.
I think it's irrelevant because the fuckers didn't announce Wind Waker. They announced pissing Skyward Sword. And no one gives a shit about that. Well, they say they don't, but as you say, it's the #1 fucking game on Amazon.
I hope everybody has fun with the 50+ hour tutorial on that fucking.
All right, so Nintendo ended the show with one more thing. Got to make the little snap sound now. And it was fucking Splatoon 3.
I don't get me wrong. I like Splatoon. I think that, yes, they need to make a third one. Also, it's not coming out until 2022. We didn't need this now.
Well,
I don't think
they're
we
starting
need
to get off
Splatoon
the-
3, but that's just me.
We're starting to get
There
away
were-
from
there
the
was-
"we've announced it, here it is 2 months later" thing. Like, I
They
thought they
still-
had learned their lesson from
Well-
Metroid and Bayonetta, but
Bayonetta.
apparently we learned nothing.
But that was also weird because when they said they were doing this direct, they said we're focusing on games in the first half of 2021.
And this is I mean, again.
So is
I
Project
have no
Triangle
problem.
Strategy.
I have no problem with there being Splatoon 3, but I have a problem with this whole, it's 2022. We don't need, with the Project Triangle Strategy thing, that's Square Enix, that's a platform for them to announce that, it's up to them, but Nintendo should know better at this point.
Well, I think the weirdest thing about it is that, like, what is fundamentally going to change between Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3 that couldn't just be DLC? Like, it made a little bit more.
It's after the Splatopocalypse.
Well,
What the fuck did you just say?
yeah. I'm plowing through. I'm not even going to acknowledge that. It made sense that there had to be a Splatoon 2 once they were coming from the Wii U, right? Wii U had a small fan base or install base, so it made sense. Like, oh, we're just going to do a sequel. It's basically going to be a better version of the first game. But this is going to be, assumedly, on the same console, and that's just going to divide the player base up.
Well,
right?
probably not, because I don't.
Well, let me
They're not doing
rephrase that.
anything new for Splatoon
Let me rephrase
2,
that
are they?
then. You aren't going to have the engagement level you had with 2 unless this game somehow is 1,000 times better, right? Like, this has been a big series, but not the biggest series ever. So when you have it, like, if people didn't feel like they got their money's worth out of Splatoon 2, which I'm going to be honest, I think there's going to be a fair portion because they stopped updating it, right? Because they don't continuously work on a multiplayer game unless it's Smash Brothers, apparently. So
Yeah,
you're going to
that's
have
'cause they
people
keep
that are
getting
going to
chained up.
fall off, and then you're going to sell another.
But they must. I mean, for
$80
there
here.
to be a third one, they must have had a fair amount of success with the second one. I would
I'm
think.
not saying that. I'm just saying like it's not so much what you had in sales; it's how long those people stuck around for. Because remember, the main focus of this is a multiplayer game.
But that's not. I mean, you look at Call of Duty and things like that. That's every year they knock them out. I mean, it's not an argument I would put to a.
Yeah, but Call of Duty is also Call of Duty, not Splatoon.
Yeah, but then
And they
could
also
say
update that
Battlefield
game for the whole
and-
year, and then the next game comes out, right? But they still update the old games. Like this is Nintendo that's operating a multiplayer game, not Activision.
You'd be lucky if Splatoon 2 is playable when Splatoon 3 comes out.
Yeah, like that's my issue, is that this is Nintendo. They don't really do a lot on infrastructure side of multiplayer games, and they're putting out another multiplayer game.
All right.
Well, it could have been worse. It could have been fucking. What's that other game that they made that nobody played with the punching
Arms?
arms? It could have been Arms too.
Arms is great.
Oh, well, Splatoon is great. I'm just saying,
Arms
like,
got a character in Smash. It's
I feel like if you had an Arms 2 come out in the same amount of time between Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3, like again, you'd see the same percentage of drop off. Like,
I'm pretty
you know,
sure
I already
Arms
have
will
the
drop off day after, to be fair.
But again, I don't think like Nintendo engaged people enough. They stopped doing Splatoon is easy. Have a vote. That's all they were people were playing it for, was just to have their vote in the match, right? Your teams were playing mustard versus ketchup. And then they stopped doing stuff like that even. Like, that's all. I don't know. It's just weird to have them announce a third game, especially this far out.
I think it's weird that it's this far out. I thought there would be a third game, but this far out, this shouldn't have been announced until beginning of 2022. If it was coming out summer 2022.
Honestly, it's the same way I feel about them announcing Overwatch 2 and like the recent actual announcement of when it's coming out being as far away and basically saying we're not updating the original game anymore. So just consider that what you have is done. Sort of.
Honestly, I think the Overwatch 2 situation is they plan to have it out by now. I think COVID.
Well, I'm sure.
I think COVID
That's
kind
the
of
only
killed
thing
that.
I can think.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think because that was
like,
too early.
Tonally, I feel that they're similar. And I don't play either of them. It's just one of those things where it's like saying, like, oh, the thing you have for the next little while, that's it. Okay.
All right, let's move on. We got a ton more news, so I'm trying to move on. Xbox announced a new headset.
Okay.
Yes, I would love that, but apparently you can't even pre-order it now.
Yeah, it's sold out everywhere. It's $100. Apparently has Dolby Atmos, 15-hour battery life. Looks sweet.
It does. I will definitely get one at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure those will. Microsoft always makes really good hardware, and then you can't ever buy it. A lot of this stuff we've already talked about.
Doesn't need a dongle, does it either?
No, Xbox headsets shouldn't need a dongle. My Turtle Beach doesn't use a dongle.
No, okay.
EA has officially completed its $1.2 billion acquisition of Codemasters.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Codemasters. You had a good run.
Outriders is getting a demo this week. Also, there is a rumor floating around that the Microsoft Bethesda acquisition closes in March, and that as soon as it is over, Microsoft has planned an event which will showcase what Bethesda has to offer.
Actual Prey 2, please, God, actual Prey 2.
Yep. So when this deal closes in March, we will finally get the answer to the question. Can you believe it's been 5 months since they bought them?
I haven't bought them yet.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is that since they announced it.
No, it feels like a month ago.
Yeah, it was 5 months ago. But we'll finally get the answer to the question: is Starfield coming to PlayStation 5?
No, it's not. And also, I wouldn't surprise me if this thing that they do, if this event will probably literally, here's the button, we're switching all of the Bethesda games to Game Pass now. Because I know that you've got some, like a Doom Eternal and all, but you're still missing Fallout 4, you're missing Doom, you're missing, I think Prey's not on there anymore, Dishonored's not on here, Dishonored 1 isn't on there. I think they'll just flick the switch and, oh, by the way, they're now Microsoft games, so they're all on Game Pass. Because that's going to happen, isn't it?
Well, of course it's going to happen. They're first party.
Yeah.
BlizzCon was this weekend as well. As we mentioned earlier, they released the Blizzard Arcade Collection, which brought over Lost Vikings, Rock and Roll Racing, and Blackthorn. That's available on everything. They announced a Hearthstone 2021 expansion.
People still play that.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. That's a huge game for them.
I feel like we're just doing history over again, but World of Warcraft Burning Crusade Classic has been confirmed for 2021.
I don't.
Aren't
That is
people
the wildest shit I've ever seen.
Aren't people still pissed about like the state of World of Warcraft Remastered, something they did last year?
I have no idea. I feel it feels weird that there are two running World of Warcrafts. That feels...
Are they two separate subscriptions?
Yes, I believe so.
I think
they're not.
you get Classic if you're subscribed to World of Warcraft, don't you? You can subscribe to Classic by itself, but I think if you have,
I think that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if
that
you-
would have been fucking devious.
yeah, but honestly, if Blizzard wanted the extra income, they could have done it. Let's be fair.
I think that was what I misunderstood.
Okay, that would have been something. That would have been evil to do that. But, yeah, I mean, again, to charge people if they're already paying for World of Warcraft to pay again for the classic stuff would be a bit naughty.
Diablo news. Diablo 4 showed off the Rogue class.
But still, who cares, because it's not coming out for another year at least.
And then finally, Diablo news. Diablo 2 Resurrected is coming this fall to PC and consoles, and we'll have cross-play, cross-progression.
That's cool.
And
that'll give me something to play whilst I wait for 4.
It's got a toggle button, so you can toggle back and forth between the old version and the new version, and all of the cinematics are being redone.
I saw an article that's like, this is crazy. You can just switch back and forth. I'm like, you're gonna have your mind fucking blown when you play Halo Anniversary Edition.
Yeah.
Do you remember? You know who's making this?
Yeah, Vicarious Visions.
Yep.
Rest in peace. You're now just Blizzard.
You know what? The work they did on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, that makes me more excited for Diablo 2.
Listen, I'm happy that they are working on something that's as beloved as this. I just wish they could have still existed as Vicarious Visions, not just a part.
Well, at least they still exist.
No, they don't really. They were just absorbed into Blizzard's.
Yes, but at least they're working. At least they're not shut down like EA would do, and probably will do with Codemasters at some point. It's nice that they've got something that. Again, I agree with you. Vicarious Visions would have been better off on their own, but.
Have they said if this is going to have the DLC?
Yeah, it's everything.
Of course it will.
Okay.
It's got to, hasn't it?
It's everything.
Also, John, EA will close Codemasters after they are forced to make 3 Need for Speed games that don't sell well.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what I mean. Don't get me wrong. I didn't want Take-Two to buy them either, but at least Take-Two would have probably let them do their own thing. This makes me feel that we're just going to use you for trying to make a Need for Speed relevant again. It won't work because Need for Speed isn't relevant anymore, and they'll shut them down. It's just, and bear in mind, Codemasters is a UK developer, very close to my heart. They were back from when I was playing games on my Spectrum 48K. I mean, it's not the same thing. Codemasters is different than they were then, but they're still a name that's synonymous with UK game development.
Oh no, I sent him down the path. He's going to be talking about Dizzy soon. Fuck.
Dizzy, fucking love Dizzy. Dizzy was
I knew it.
Dizzy's a bad video game. We're moving
No,
on.
it's not.
We're moving on. BlizzCon also took the time to showcase a bunch of Overwatch 2 stuff, including the single-player portions, the new character Sojourn, 2 new maps, I believe. Drew, I didn't watch all of it, but I think there were 2 new maps shown.
New York and...
I watched
God,
the little
I can't
videos. I watched the little videos on Twitter when they went up, fly-throughs of the map.
Right. Hang on a
Wasn't it
second.
Canada?
No, they've already shown Vancouver off. Not Vancouver.
Toronto.
Wait, is it Toronto? Yeah.
Yeah, but there was another map. Also, the single player will have like weather effects.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I forgot there's going to be a single player.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm impressed by what Overwatch 2 is, but the big reason I didn't watch it is because I know I'm not playing it anytime soon. So,
Hang on a second. I've got them here.
yeah, I saw there were 2 fly-throughs of 2 new maps.
New York City is one of them. I know for certain.
Yeah, I remember New York City. It's good air.
Is it Rome?
It might be Rome. I think you might be right there. But they did
Hang
show
on.
that. They showed a bunch of stuff, and they did a behind the scenes, which I will probably end up watching while I'm at work tomorrow.
That's nice that you do it in your time off.
Well, I have 3 screens on my work, and when I'm working, I can turn on YouTube and just watch things while I'm working. So
Yeah, it's in Rome.
okay. And I'd assume we'll see a lot more over the next year, but yeah, we won't be playing it for a while, so there is that. And then finally, Metallica played at the BlizzCon, and it was muted on Twitch.
Brilliant. Well done.
Brilliant fucking irony.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Lars. You caused this.
Yep,
Unbelievable.
yep. He's the reason why. Well, I mean, he's a big reason why there are DMCA's and all that stuff. And it's kind of funny that his own performance gets taken down because he doesn't want people to steal it.
Well, it's as Alanis Morissette, isn't it ironic? Hey, how funny is that?
Yeah.
DMCA's wherever I may roam.
Yeah. Well, I just think also charge. You say they charge $40 for people to watch this live?
Yes.
Yeah, the
Go fuck
virtual
yourself.
tickets.
Don't do that.
That's the middle class tier one.
Don't fucking do that. Not now. Not right now. Don't do that.
You can
If
still
something-
buy the ticket like for what, 6 months or something like that?
Fuck off. Just Blizzard are. Activision is seeping into their blood. I'm sorry, but I don't think in a time like this when people need cheering up, they need something to charge $40. Activision and Blizzard don't need the money. They're not giving it to charity. Fuck off.
All
I
right.
paid $40 to see Metallica muted.
That was good.
You didn't pay $40, did you, Drew?
No, I didn't buy that shit.
Good boy. Good boy.
Why would I watch that?
I just makes me angry because again, Blizzard have such a following, Overwatch has such a following, and it's like you can't even do that one thing because it's so money driven now. You don't need the money. You get enough.
All right.
But there you go. Business is business.
We got emails following up on last week's email.
One quick thing. Blasphemous is getting DLC with Miriam from Bloodstained in it.
It's already
I'm
out, isn't
excited.
it?
Well, it's out, but you know what I mean. There was something that we couldn't touch on last week. Whatever.
Before we go away from Metallica, has anybody ever seen that photo of them out shopping?
Yeah, I've seen it.
No, but you're going to have to put it on Discord now because
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
And they
Bargain.
imprisoning me.
Yeah.
All that I see, absolute savings.
Savings.
What a great deal.
What a great find.
Look at these jeans. Damn, I look sexy as hell. Was that blackened?
No, that's what's the name?
One.
One.
That's
Yeah,
one.
that's one. Yeah. Chad is following up on Muggle Quidditch. You ready for this?
Oh God, what is this? I saw this posted up on.
Oh, that's right. You weren't here last week. Yeah.
No, what is this?
So, we'll get into it.
It's LARPing / sports.
Hold
God.
on. Let me read. Okay. Howdy, crew. Firstly, I want to say you all had me cracking up last week on your discussion over what characterizes or defines a sport. Secondly, I just want to say that I hate arguments, but love open discussions where two or more sides can present valid points without completely delegitimizing the other side. The world needs more of this type of interchange. Thirdly, you put the debate with my father to rest, you win. We both listened to the discussion and both agreed that NASCAR and playing video games can be considered a sport. Fourthly, I want to keep this party going for a minute. Please look up Muggle Quidditch, because my wife and I have both had a good laugh over it. By the way, Ryan is right to consider it a sport. There are legitimate World Cup competitions between countries, and college teams are recognized by the NCAA. Most, if not all, of the Ivy League universities have a Muggle Quidditch team. People get school scholarships to play Muggle Quidditch, for Christ's sake. Personally, I think Muggle Quidditch is silly, but I agree with Ryan, whatever floats your boat. These people literally run across the field with a stick tucked between their legs, and it is more akin to non-contact rugby. The best part is the person that dresses in all gold and runs across the field with what looks like a golden penis hanging between their belt. This person represents the golden snitch. I
was not aware of that.
If you catch up and grab the golden penis from their belt, like flag football, the game is over, and that team gets a bunch of points added to their final score. Seriously, look it up for a good laugh. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Thanks for the good discussion and continual laughs. Till next time.
Okay,
The greased up deaf guy was running around.
You'll never catch me.
I don't get it. Yeah. I mean, wouldn't everybody just stop playing the game and then chase after that dude and tackle him?
Well, there's only one person, I think, on the team that can do that. I don't remember fucking Quidditch, man. You're asking too much of me.
Oh, no, he does have
I was thinking anybody could grab him.
He did have a follow-up email that says, I have unfortunate news. Although Quidditch has an international athletic organization and most colleges have a team, go Harvard Horntails, they are not recognized by the NCAA. That was a bit of misinformation from an April Fool's joke several years ago. Still pretty funny, though, and it does actually seem like a possibility one day.
Yeah, I mean, the NCAA, if they were actually involved, they're only for the money.
So can you actually get a scholarship?
No, that was
part of the joke?
Yeah, that was an April Fool's joke, apparently.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, Muggle Quidditch is real.
Sure. I mean, stranger things have happened, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about the fact that in Britain we consider rolling down the hill chasing cheese as a sport, then anything can happen.
Yeah, but I've seen what you've considered food, so I'm not fully fucking fine.
Oh, I don't know. Fish and chips are nice.
Yeah, fish and chips aren't the problem, John. Eel pie?
Sorry?
Eel pie.
I wouldn't fucking eat eel pie. Thank
yeah,
you very
well,
much.
This is fucking British cuisine.
I think you'll find that's a very, very, very niche market over here.
Do you eat Marmite?
No, I do not. Ugh.
It's okay. That seems to be the most polarizing thing over there.
Well, it is. That Marmite have an old advertising campaign over here, love it or hate it. It's because it's polarizing. It's disgusting.
Gotcha.
But people do love it.
So there you go. We had, you should go back and listen to that, Drew. We had a long conversation about Quidditch, Muggle Quidditch, what defines NASCAR as a sport, video games a sport. There's all kinds of stuff.
Oh, dang. I need to go back and listen to that.
You should.
As far as my opinion on it, I think anything that you play competitively is considered a sport, in my opinion.
Yep, I'll sit with you on that one, Andrew.
You don't have to sweat.
I'm going to make you sweat till you bleed.
Is that dope enough indeed?
I paid the price to control the data more precise. The fact that I can still remember that
don't waste time on the mic with a dope rhyme.
Jump to the rhythm, jump to the rhythm, jump.
Listen, I'm just a squirrel trying to get nuts. Move your butt.
To the dance
No,
floor.
man.
Yo, what's
CC
up?
Music Factory.
That's right.
And full of jams that have to be pumped till your ears get sore.
Live from Brooklyn.
I was getting that mixed up with.
Seashore.
I was getting that mixed up with Good Vibrations.
Oh no, that's Marky. That's Marky. All right. Over to the Twitter. Mookie says, so I finally got into Final Fantasy XIV Online, and I heard so much about Shadowbringers teasing. Puzzle Quest.
What the fuck are you? Like, whoa, wait a minute. What?
What?
Or you just said teasing.
He's
What?
teasing me
Oh,
because he wants me to play it, and I got away from it again this week when Square Enix came out and said we don't have time to do an Xbox version. I celebrated
okay.
because I made a pact that I was not going to boot that game up again until they put it on Xbox, knowing that they probably will never put it on Xbox. I don't want to get sucked into that world again. Blue Apple Blue wants to know what VTubers we watch.
What's a VTube?
Yeah.
VTuber is like basically it's a Twitch streamer, but they're mo-capped, so they usually have like a 3D sort of like avatar that does all their motions on screen.
Okay.
So none.
Is this a thing?
Yeah. I have a friend who watches one from Japan.
So none
Corone?
for me.
I don't watch any either.
I
So
honestly
is
don't
it-
watch
Is
Twitch.
a cartoon character playing a video game?
So it looks like a 3D character playing a video game.
What?
But it's like an actual person that's sitting there and they're mo-capped.
Okay.
I don't understand what?
So I saw someone else talk to one of these people doing it, and like it was kind of fascinating because some of the stuff that could happen, so, like when a bunch of people like subscribed, stuff would actually pop up behind the 3D character and everything, rather
Okay.
than just a flash on screen. But yeah, I don't fully watch streamers anyways, so I don't have any interest.
I mean, I'm just getting too old, I think, for how things are moving in the world of streaming and TikTok and stuff like that.
Drew, you know Umami?
Umami bitches.
The Umami is the
Umami bitches.
the weird animated series I sent you.
Yeah. Okay, I
With
got you.
Mischief. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did a stream once of him doing the actual series in 3D, and he was using like facial tracking for the Mischief character
Okay.
instead of having a
That's,
video. That's basically what it is.
okay. I would watch that because that guy's hilarious and weird.
I can't do the voice. If I could do the
I
Mischief
do
voice.
it. I do it too. So I made my wife watch the first 2 episodes of that, and she said this is weird and stupid, and I'm not watching it again. So I constantly, like every once in a while, I'll just go up to her and go, "I'm a bus."
All right. Mookie says, question to y'all out there: is it okay for me to skip ahead to Shadowbringers instead of grinding my ass off from vanilla?
Ken, comment.
Dude, I don't think you should skip. You're gonna miss so much of like the tutorials of that game and what you can do by skipping ahead, and not to mention you'll miss the story, which the story in Final Fantasy XIV is actually good. So,
I'm waiting for it to come to Xbox.
me too, to get back into it, which would never happen. So I'm okay.
God, don't link people to that. They're gonna think we're weird.
Oh, come on, Drew. It's already too late for that.
That's true.
Like,
Hang on. The year was 1943. I can't do his voice. He's got this deep voice. He's ridiculous.
yeah.
Look at me. I'm the dentist now.
Dustin says, after playing the demo for Project Triangle Strategy, that's now one of my most anticipated games. I hope
don't-
everybody's excited
Like
about that game.
RPGs, I've never been good at strategy RPGs.
Oh, I hate them. I can't stand that kind of.
I've never been
RPG.
any good at them. It's like I wish I was. I'm just crap. I'm obviously not war-minded.
He also says, I really like the Capcom arcade on Switch. The rewind is quick, and the presentation is nice. I probably won't be buying the bundles, but I can see myself picking up individual games. Also works great on the flip grip. Well, I have bad news for you. You can't buy individual games.
Yes, but the presentation is lovely. They've certainly put a lot of effort. Even things like switching over what ROM you use for Japanese or Western. So that's quite cool.
Yeah, it's a nice package, and I played Ghosts and Goblins
said.
and got my ass kicked. Although the arcade version is so much easier than the NES version.
Which is a strange thing because obviously when you're playing arcades, they were designed to rip your money out. Like, for example, the Final Fight arcade is so much harder than the SNES version.
Yeah, I don't understand how the arcade version of Ghosts and Goblins is
Because
easier.
it's because the NES version was built by Tiertex, I think. But it was a notorious like Japanese company that made kind of like not great games, and that was one of them. So it's not even like, oh, this game is just hard. It's not great when it comes to programming, even though they're not listed anywhere. It was like part of this one company that's built like all the old NES ports.
If you were stuck on an island and there were only 3 spices available to use when cooking, what would you want them to be?
Ginger, sporty, and...
Oh, god damn it. You horny motherfucker.
That'll be over.
John over there under a tree with a giant beard just going, if you want to be my lover, I'm going to get with her friends. Alright, if one of y'all motherfuckers don't say Cool Ranch, I don't even know you anymore.
That's not a spice.
Cool Ranch.
Who says it's not a spice?
Paprika.
Literally,
It's a
it's not a
flavour of
spice.
crisp.
Paprika?
Yeah, paprika is nice.
Curry.
Pepper. Yeah, curry pepper and cayenne pepper. So black pepper and cayenne pepper.
So basically you don't want to live, you just want to like... You dehydrate yourself with this nonstop pepper.
I'm on a desert island. I figure I'm not going to fucking live long, but I might as well enjoy the food, the shitty food that I've hunted and cooked myself.
With a lot of pepper on it.
Honestly, salt is one of the best spices out there because it brings out flavor and everything
Yeah,
else.
but there's enough salt in the ocean.
Yeah, but
That's
I'm not gonna extract it.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's one of my favorite spices to use. I've used it. I started learning about it whenever I was subscribing to Blue Apron. I'm gonna butcher it. I call it Zatar, but I think that's incorrect.
I've never heard of it.
ZA''ATAR.
Huh. I've never
Zatar.
heard of
Zatar. I don't
it.
know how to pronounce
What
it.
is it? Is it like...
It's a mix. It's a spice mix. Let me see here. It's a Middle Eastern spice mixture.
What's it taste like?
It gives it kind of like a smoky taste, a little bit.
Smoky
It's
taste is good.
it's savory. Oregano, thyme, marjoram, earthy spices like cumin and coriander.
I do like
Coriander.
oregano. I like oregano.
This stuff is like the jam. Like I love putting this stuff on like a salmon fillet, pouring that on there and then baking it. That really will spice up anything that you want to make.
I mean, you're gonna be eating a lot of fish and coconut, so you need a little spice in your life.
There you go. And you need some lime, so you can put the lime in the coconut.
Drink it all up.
Drink it all up. You remember that commercial where they did put the lime in the coconut
No.
for Coca-Cola and lime?
No.
Yeah,
I don't
look it up.
remember that. I'm not looking it up.
Okay, bitch. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I call it Zatar.
Okay. I mean, I have never heard of it, so...
I had never heard of it until I started using Blue Apron, and they suggested that with almost every dish. And it became one of my favorites.
You still do Blue Apron?
I do not. We got so many recipes. Like that's the thing is like I've got a whole recipe book just full of like Blue Apron recipes. I can make something for every friggin' night if I
thought
wanted
they
to.
sent you the actual food.
They do.
Okay.
They do. But you keep the recipes and everything too.
Gotcha. So you could just go buy the food without...
Exactly. I mean
So-
that was what?
You pronounce it Zata.
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 So the R is
Silent.
silent. Gotcha. All right, so Zata.
Zata.
I use that a lot.
I can see Drew with a little pinch of it in his fingers when he's cooking and just goes, Zata.
I do. I do it like that guy that did the salt that
Assault,
time.
yeah. Do you bend your arm like that too? Put some sunglasses on?
Yes.
That's pimping. Dustin also says speed golf looks fun.
Yes, it does.
Says excited for the Saga Frontier remaster. I don't know anything about the Famicom Detective Club, but it looks really awesome. They're translating but that's really awesome that they're translating old games. I hope to keep up with this trend. Don't sleep on Legend of Mana. Such an amazing game worth multiple playthroughs. Was not expecting Splatoon 3, but not complaining either. So many great announcements in that direct. Something for everyone unless you're just miserable.
Ken.
What are you talking about? I'm all about Ninja Gaiden Master Collection and Mario Golf.
All right.
They got 2 out of 50. It's fine.
I was about to say,
There we
I
go.
think I'm probably the most excited for Mario Golf out of all those.
Fuck yeah, dude. Mario Golf is the bomb, and we haven't had
Like-
one since the fucking what?
3DS.
Yeah, that's been a long time ago.
World Tour was the last one, and I probably put about 60 hours into that game. I loved it.
Dude, I played Mario Golf and Mario Tennis on the GameCube so much back in the day.
The Game Boy game is still spectacular.
Yeah, Mario Golf is always good. I don't think there's been a bad Mario Golf.
No.
Awesome. I hope everyone checks out Skyward Sword now that they can't use motion control excuse. Skid through the padding and you'll play some of the best dungeon design in the series.
The motion control was never my problem with that game.
Nope.
I played through Twilight Princess with motion control, and that motion control sucked.
Nope.
I don't know.
It's
Motion
it's-
control
Motion
and-
control stopped me from playing that game.
Motion
Alright, well
control
then.
was one of the bad things in that game. I don't know that right stick fixes that.
I don't have an issue with motion control at all, and that is not the problem with Skyward Sword.
Mm-mm. Skyward Sword just won't fucking die. Like, that game just goes on and on and on, and so much of it is padded out. Like, the literal search for the first dungeon takes longer than the goddamn dungeon.
Hmm.
Oh
It's just
my-
not a great game. I shouldn't say that. It's just not
A
in the
great
tier
Zelda.
of Zelda games that people should be clamoring for its re-release.
Oh, God. Yeah, I love just about every Zelda game that I've ever played. But Skyward Sword just hurt me. It hurt me. I remember when I quit playing it. I remember I was in a dungeon with that stupid flying beetle trying to find something up on the ceiling, and I just took my Wii remote and fucking threw it. I was like, I'm done with this shit. Fucking bowling ball, bomb, fuck that game.
Yeah, it just wasn't a good game.
Finally, he says, I never beat Diablo 2, so it looks like I'll be picking up the remaster on console. Okay. How do you not beat Diablo?
Diablo 2 is one of the best games ever made.
Yeah, Diablo 2
Yeah.
is the best Diablo by far. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm excited to play the remaster for
it's
sure.
been a long time since I played Diablo 2. I feel like I just have a lot of nostalgia for that game. I have not booted that game up in probably 10 to 15 years.
it's so good.
Diablo 3 does a lot of things really damn well.
It does, but it's never as good as just playing Diablo 2.
Yeah, I
It's just
know.
not.
The thing is they're taking a lot of cues from Diablo 2 and then putting it in Diablo 4 as well. So you're going to be able to put in, points into your actual attributes this time. Diablo 3 was a very simplified version of Diablo.
Mm-hmm. And Diablo 2, just a small note, is the only Diablo that has not been on a console before.
Mm.
This will be the first time
It's true.
it's been on a console.
Yep.
So, now, granted, Diablo 1 on the PlayStation is not great, but
No.
you know,
Neither
No,
was
definitely
StarCraft.
StarCraft was not on the PlayStation; it was on N64.
64, yeah.
That's right.
It's bad. Don't get me wrong; it's still bad. But
It's just bad on the 64.
yeah,
It is the only version that has split screen multiplayer though. I know that's weird. Fact that no one needed or asked for. Fuck it, I'll shut up now.
yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares about StarCraft on the N64. It was bad. Anyway, that is it for the show. This was a long one. Like I said, we had a lot of news. We had that British guy back. You know,
Who?
he was doing his baking show.
Baking show.
They have a lot of British baking shows over here on Netflix, John. I don't know if you know about those.
Unfortunately, we have a lot of British baking shows over here, little fuckers.
Yeah.
I guess you get the Great British Bake Off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I hate that program.
Oh, my wife loves it. She watched like all
I've,
of it.
I've seen every single season of that show.
I can't watch it because it just makes me. I'm diabetic. It just makes me angry.
It's not funny that you're
So
diabetic. It's just funny that you're like, I can't watch this show because I'm diabetic. It's just, it's just a funny statement to me.
The cakes they make are amazing.
Well, of course they are. And like, you literally watch it and you go into a coma.
Yeah. I tell you what I do watch I like, which is kind of the anti thing on the anti-British Bake Off on Netflix, and that's Nailed It. Have you seen that?
My wife watches it. I've not seen
That
it.
is so funny.
Oh, I
that is-
forgot to bring this up, Drew. On Netflix, there is a 4-part documentary about that lady, the hotel.
Yep.
Cecil
Yes,
Hotel?
I watched it this weekend. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's really
Yeah.
good. I'm
Yeah, I watched it on
disappointed it
Friday.
wasn't. I'm disappointed in what it wasn't. If you haven't spoiled it, but
don't spoil it.
but like the way they framed it and told the story of that hotel, that was really good.
Yeah. Nice
Interesting.
compelling stuff. Dude, if you like that stuff, look for a YouTube channel called Nexpo. That dude goes into some great stuff.
It was
Yeah.
funny
Is that
watching
cool, sorry?
Nexpo.
Nexpo. Nexpo.
It stands for
NEXPO.
Nightmare Expo. He does some really good, like, internet mystery stuff. Like,
He just covered Drew's favorite.
oh my god, he covered one of my favorite cases ever. One of the best American mysteries of all time.
Yuba County 5.
Yeah, the Yuba County 5, man. That is the weirdest fucking story you'll ever see in your life.
So
Oh yeah, I just think that's like his top thing at the moment.
Yeah.
So I know
Watch-
you
I
guys.
love all that stuff.
You guys are
I
deep
also-
into this stuff. When I showed my wife the Cecil Hotel stuff, she told me about this video that she saw once and went and found it, and I watched it. And I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's about this hotel that this like security guard goes to the door, and there's like screaming coming from the room.
Yes.
And
Yeah, I've seen that video.
yeah, when he goes in the room, there's nobody in there, but the carpet's been ripped up, and the like fucking chairs and furniture all upside down.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen this video.
Oh my
It's-
god, it creeps
It's
me
a
out.
it's a real video, Drew. It's just
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like I don't know if somebody saw an opportunity or not, but it is well done if it's fake, and if it's real, it's
Yeah, because the screaming is coming from the door until he opens the door.
yeah.
And it stops.
And then it stops, and then he goes in, and he comes back out fucking freaked out.
Another channel to look for. If that's your channel called Let Me Know, LEMMINO. He's covered Cicada 3301, the Dyatlov Pass, which is very similar to Yuba County 5, but in Russia. He breaks down the vanishing of Flight 370, search for DB Cooper, Roanoke. Yeah, Drew and I share a lot of this shit.
I love this
this
shit.
shit.
I love this shit. I love watching.
Dude, how have you not listened to us? We've talked about this before, Ken.
What are you talking about?
Like, these YouTube channels, like,
I
are
know,
devoted
but
to this
it's
stuff.
like YouTube channels are so hard for me to watch because every time I log into YouTube, it's just such a fucking disaster.
Dude, Laura, my wife, and I watch those all the time. When a new Nexpo comes out, it's like an event for us.
How long are they?
30 minutes.
30 minutes tops.
Maybe I'll watch some of those tonight because I finished WandaVision up to where it's at.
Yeah.
I need something new to watch.
Definitely give Nexpo a shot. He has some fantastic stuff on there.
All right. Well, we got to go, so let's do our things.
I'm hungry.
If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at N4G Podcast. You can follow all of us. John is at John WK. Ryan is at Wombat RP. Drew is at Drew Leishman. I am at ZTGD, and you can follow the site at ZTGD Content. Send us emails, podcasts at ZTGD.com. Phoenix down, Yakuza 0, running now, probably for a while.
We're probably going to do about 2 more episodes.
That's impressive. That means you're only going to do 4?
We're doing 4 chapters for each episode.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of playing.
Yep.
That is a hell of a lot of playing.
But that is it for this week. Unless anybody has anything else, we'll get out of here.
No, just glad to be back.
Good to have you back, John. We love you.
Good to have you back, John.
Yeah. I'm not here next week, by the way.
Well, that was short-lived. Anyway, peace, bitch.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G podcast.
It's me, Mario.
$0.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
Gather time.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat. And Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.
Killed the dragon.